What's going on, everybody? I'm Brad.
I'm Miguel.
And I kid you not, we've been gone for a month, but listen, I have been waiting almost a month to say these words. Welcome back to Let's Talk Movies, people. And I am so hyped. Our 90th episode, we're at 90 already. Hard to believe. Doesn't even seem possible that we're at 90.
Took us a month to get to 90s, guys. Believe that
It did,
or not.
but I'm so hyped to be back. I'm so excited to hang out with you guys finally. So much horror news to talk about tonight. There's so much stuff going on in this world. We have a special guest. JayTee is going to join us for the second time. He's going to come on the show in just a second. We're going to talk Friday the 13th. We're going to talk Halloween Ends. We're going to talk Hellraiser. All of the horror fan film stuff going on. There's so many different things happening right now in the world of horror. And we're just happy to be back, man. It's a great time. Oktoberfest. It's all
upon us.
It's all happening. Well, yeah, our Oktoberfest. Plus, I'm drinking an Oktoberfest. So how's everybody doing in the chat, man? Hope you guys are doing awesome. Steve Merlot's here. What's going on, man? We're getting ready to have Steve on in just a couple of weeks to talk the Sawyer Massacre. So I know, Steve. I know you sent me a message. I am gonna get back to you. It's been a insane couple of days. So I'll get back to you at some point soon, man. So Jonathan Nichols, what's going on, man? Halloween Enzy. I like it. It's like French. Halloween Enzy. With an I at the end. Hope you guys are all doing well. So I'm not going to prolong this at all, man. For his second Let's Talk Movies appearance, please welcome to the show Mr. JTK from hashtag HeyJ on YouTube. What's going on, my friend?
What's going on, fellas? How y'all doing?
We are rocking it, man. I'm just super. I'm happy to be back. Like I texted Miguel a couple days ago, and I was like, I'm literally like craving a show right now. Like I've missed it, but there's so much going on. I know. Like
my mouth is watering.
I'm sitting on my couch going, no, that's not true. But yeah, I'm glad you got to join us again, man. It's been a little bit. It's been since before Halloween Kills. So I was thinking about
this.
It
was around this time last year, I think.
Yeah.
Right?
What about a year to the date? But yeah, we'll have to talk some Halloween Kills too, because we haven't really gotten to like have a face-to-face conversation about that. So I mean, listen, this is going to be a big show. There's a lot to talk about. I've just felt like, I don't know, I've been really feeling like I think it's partially because it's starting to actually feel like fall now. You know what I mean? Like, you're in Atlanta, right? So you get like you all get that fall weather. Like, you know, we're Kentucky. Like if you're in an area where you where you get a fall season, like honestly, I feel like it's just here, I can feel it.
Yeah, here, I mean, in Atlanta, strangely, I think this year we're going to be on schedule, because typically, like, I know last year when Halloween Kills came out, 'cause that's the same week as my birthday. So like, I had on shorts to go see the movie and a t-shirt.
Really?
And I wore like a denim jacket because I had the Michael Myers enamel pin.
Mm-hmm.
I said, y'all got to take this jacket off. Like, it's hot. You know?
Yeah.
So, but like this year, they're predicting that everything is going to be like on schedule, because this year they're saying like around like the week that Halloween Ends comes out is going to be like, the high is going to be like, it's like 65 or something. So I'm just like, perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it hits like 77 degrees over here, and Brad's automatically thinking it's gonna be fall. It's like, dog, trust me. You were in that little area where like you could wear a sweater in the morning, but like at like 3 o'clock, boy, you
wearing
right
a tank top.
Yeah, you wearing a tank top.
You wearing a tank top.
Well, listen, I mean, when it's been, we had a brutal summer. It was like 90 for a couple weeks, like 90 and above, like all day, and it was just awful. So I mean, I'm ready for a little bit of more chill weather, you know. But even like it's been foggy in the morning and it's been rainy, so it's just like I don't know, it's that time.
We haven't gotten there yet. In Atlanta in the summer, it's like 110, 15. Like, that's our average. So
keep that.
I'm packing it up. Yeah.
Keep that.
Yeah. Jonathan Nichols says he's about an hour northeast of Atlanta himself.
Oh, so he can relate.
Yeah.
He can definitely relate.
Well, you know, it's funny. Kentucky is weird, especially like central Kentucky where we're at, because like it can go one of two ways. Like, especially in the winter, like you can get nothing or you can get everything. Like there's no in between with Kentucky. It's very like extreme, you know. It's crazy.
I'm packing it up.
But it's nuts, man. Halloween Ends, what's going on? He says, hi guys, missed you all. I also noticed you changed your background to that sweet ass the soundtrack logo with Michael, where we got to see the full picture of him. By the way, I think I had that here. Let me pull it up. There he be.
He looks good.
There he is.
He does look good.
He looks bad, but he looks good. You know?
That looks better than what we got in the poster. The poster where it's just like you kind of get like just like barely you see him at all.
But I think they're trying to keep that whole dimension of like keeping him in the corner of all three posters. That's probably why.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. His overall looks like it just went through the dryer, but you didn't like clean out the lint filter.
Yeah.
So it's like fucking covered, dog.
Yeah. He looked like he had a sneaky link with a sheep.
He looks like he spilled a hot candle on himself, like on his shoulder, like like he's got wax all stained. I don't know, man. But yeah, so much horror news to talk about lately, man. Like there, I don't know, and I've been feeling it too. Like I've been like super into. If you guys like, you know who Sean Clark is, be like the Halloween super fan. He does Horror Hallowed Grounds, and he also. He has that show with Christopher Nelson, The Thing with Two Heads. They have their podcast, and he runs Convention All Stars and gets all of them for conventions and stuff. And he's got that Horror's Hallowed Ground show. Have you ever watched it?
No, it's like I heard because like when you said The Thing with Two Heads, I was like, that sounds like really familiar. I think I know who you're talking about.
Well, I like because he goes to different like horror filming locations and like films like a mini, just like a location piece, like a 30-minute like documentary on it, and it's so sick, man. But just like even like just being in the Facebook groups and talking with people on Twitter and like this horror space, man, is just kicking right now, and I'm really feeling it. I'm really feeling it. So it's just a cool time. Like Halloween is right around the corner. It's starting to feel like fall. We're finally getting, after what seemed like an eternity with nothing about Halloween Ends. Like there was a couple weeks there I was like, is this still coming out? Like, is this movie still happening?
But honestly, I think they did so much over marketing for Kills that they were just like, you know what? Let's just play it, you know. And honestly, I hate it as a fan, but you know, I can respect it though, because to me it only built my hype up even more for it.
Right.
You know?
Well, it's like you hate to see it, but at the same time it's like I kind of almost prefer it this way because and you know, we'll talk about this when we start talking about Kills in a little bit too, but like, you know, I was kind of not entirely, I don't want to say I was disappointed, but Kills didn't live up to what I thought it was going to be. And I think that was largely because I went in with such like solid expectations. Like I thought I was like, this is what we're going to get. And when it wasn't everything that I had kind of hoped for or thought it was going to be, I was like, oh, like, you know, so it was a little bit different, but yeah, man, it's a cool time. So, so real quick, got a couple more people. Steve Merlo says he's in Western Canada. It gets pretty hot here this summer, but not as hot as Texas. Yeah, I wouldn't say it's as hot. Texas gets pretty brutal. You ever seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I'm kidding, Steve. Good Real Hunting, what's going on, man? Hey, everyone, just wanted to drop by and say, hey, Brett, man, always good to have you here, brother. So let's hop. You all want to just hop into the horror news? Like, not even waste any time with this?
Yeah, let's jump on in.
Let's just do it. So real quick, let's start. Yeah, Halloween Ends. That's exactly right. It's the most wonderful time. It's the most wonderful time. No, we're not ready for that yet.
We still got a couple more months before that, man. Okay, let's enjoy some horror before we talk about good old Cricket.
Listen, I actually like. I love Christmas time. I do. Like, it's honestly, I might love Christmas time more than I love Halloween time. But like, well, listen.
I know,
okay,
right?
It all kind of
nowhere.
It kind of. He's about to leave now. He's like, I'm out.
This is.
He's like, I'm gonna bounce. I don't know. I will say though, it all kind of runs together. Like October through December is just kind of like one beautiful time for me. Like it's the time of the year. I know, right? It's just that like I'm really into fall and I'm really excited. But then November is kind of that weird mix of like, okay, it's still fall, but like it's starting to kind of transition over into winter. And then December comes and it's just like all in Christmas. But Miguel and I are actually going to hit up all of the Spirit Halloweens in Lexington on Friday night. And I went in Hobby Lobby.
I'm going to one tomorrow.
Are you? Well, I haven't gotten to be in one. We were gonna go to one a while ago, but it closed at like 6 p.m. I was like, "What the hell is?"
But that's a couple of them right
yet,
now, though.
Yeah. They're coming
That's
up.
fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. But my wife and I went in Hobby Lobby a couple weeks ago. And, we're looking through all the fall merch and we're, around the corners looking at all the Halloween stuff. I'm not kidding you. There was more Christmas stuff in Hobby Lobby than there was Halloween or fall.
Yeah.
Like,
throughout the year.
They've got Christmas trees already. They've got the Santa gnomes. They've got all of the nutcrackers and the fake snow and it's everything. And I was like, whoa.
No,
hey, man.
when
it's the holidays. It's the holidays. Let's say that. Right there. That's all.
If I worked in Hobby Lobby, I would be depressed and all that Christmas stuff. I would be depressed.
See, that's the thing. It's those Burr months. It all runs together.
Yeah.
It's one big thing. So.
Ooh.
By the way, guys, this is also a horror Q&A session, so if you got questions for any of us, throw them in the chat. We'll get to them throughout the show. And we'll also have a specific time at the end for Halloween and Friday the 13th questions, just because those, we're going to touch on Hellraiser and things like that, but Halloween and Friday the 13th are going to be our biggest topics of the evening, just because there's the most to talk about there. So, Rosalia's here. What's going on, Rosalia? Good to see you. So let's start off. Let's talk some Hellraiser. Let me ask you, Miguel, have you even seen Hellraiser? I know we're working on getting you acclimated to the horror stuff.
That's
Miguel
probably
over it.
no. Hellraiser is something that was literally a fever dream, honestly, because I know of the movie, I know I've seen it once, but to be able to give you a whole synopsis of it, out. I just know that shit was a Freaky Friday for me on a one night, and I have not watched it since. So,
yeah. How about you, JT? What is your experience with Hellraiser?
Same thing, dog. I know I've seen it once, but I only had one interest in it a long time ago when they said that it was gonna be a crossover with him and Mike, with Hellraiser and Michael. But obviously that never happened. So I was just I'm not interested.
Well, for me, admittedly, I'm not the biggest fan of the Hellraiser franchise. I'm curious again, when we do, we'll get to it on Purely and Simply Evil at some point. I don't know when, but I honestly, the first one, I got to be brutally honest with you, it's a lot. It's one of those franchises where you almost have to kind of take it slow because unless you're not into taking it slow, but you will need a shower and church after you watch that first film. You're gonna need some Jesus for a couple hours after you finish that, because it's brutal.
So is it fantasy horror or
kind of essentially there's this box that is opened, and when you open it, it summons these demons, but it's kind of Saw-esque, where it's Jigsaw only goes after bad people. It kind of it always ends up with somebody who needs the, you know what I mean, who needs the the, what am I trying to say, the ultimatum kind of thing. So I don't know, that's essentially what it is. And the later sequels go way further away.
There's sequels to this shit? Oh,
that's what I was about to ask
guys.
too.
Let me see how many.
There's more than
Let's see.
just one. Well, here's the thing, guys. Yeah, I thought Hellraiser, because
oh crap! I didn't realize there were that many.
Was Hellraiser was I combined Hellraiser with 13 Ghosts. I used to think that was the same thing, because I thought Pinhead was the same as all the ghosts that you see in that movie. You know, the one with Shaggy in it. I forgot what his name was. Yeah, I knew that movie more than I knew Hellraiser. So I think at some point in my life I just mixed the two together. So I've probably pissed off a lot of people, a lot of horror fans whenever I was talking about them. I'm
gonna be honest with you. I don't even know if I knew this. Take a guess at how many Hellraiser films there are.
7.
I was gonna say 6.
There's 10.
Jesus, Mary and Joseph.
You have Hellraiser 1987, Hellbound, which is 1988, which is the second one, Hell on Earth, which is 92, Bloodline is 96, Inferno is 2000. I think Inferno is supposed to be really good, but I don't think I've ever seen it. Hellseeker is 2002, Hellraiser Deader, that's a weird name. It's 2005.
That's grammatically incorrect.
Hellworld is 2000, also two. There were 2 of them in 2005? What?
Bro, they were spitting them out, man.
Clearly.
They had to have been. And then Revelations and Judgment. So there's 10 in the franchise. But honestly, where did that comment go? Jonathan Nichols brings up a good point. The original is a classic. The rest of the series, not so much. I think largely, and I'm sure it has its big-time fans, but, like, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I think the original was really cool. It's based on a novel. Like, Clive Barker's... I don't know if Clive Barker wrote...
Is he okay and well? Is Clive Barker okay and well?
yeah. It was a novella by Clive Barker called The Hellbound Heart, and it was adapted into the movie. So
that's some adaptation.
So that's essentially like what it is. But like Rosalie is right. Like it's body horror. Like it's torture. It's bondage. It's like the demons. What are the Cenobites? Like they're very like. They're mutilated and like Pinhead, I mean, you've seen Pinhead, like it's, you have like Chatterer and like his, like the skin of his mouth is all like pinned to the back of his head. Yeah. Like it's out there, man. Like seriously, you got to go like sit with the Bible for a few minutes after you're done. But yeah, I don't know. It's interesting, but I'm really interested in what's coming because, the news here is that we did get a brief, like very brief teaser for the film. It was literally just like a red screen that said Hellraiser, and you could kind of see Pinhead in the back. And I think it premieres on October 7th, if I'm correct. People in the chat, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But the interesting thing and the thing that's piqued everybody's interest, including mine, is that the creators have, I guess, technically you would say, gender swapped Pinhead. And Pinhead is now female, which everybody was up in arms about. But Jamie Clayton, who forgive me if I'm not correct, I believe is a trans actor. And Miguel, if you remember, we covered this when it broke, and everybody was like, "This is BS." Like Pinhead's a guy, like, blah. And I was like, "Okay, calm down."
He is literally a demonic entity.
Like, exactly.
I don't think there's any gender.
Like, first of all, it's not like you're doing like Michelle Myers. Like, it's not like you're doing that kind of thing. Like, but like, I don't know. Like, women bring a different presence than men, and like, I feel like that like confident, sexy, like badass persona might really work for Pinhead. Like in a really cool way. Yeah, October 7th on Hulu. Thanks, Brett, man. Like a Boss, no, we're not to the Halloween Ends talk just yet. We will be in just a little bit. J-Dead's here. What's going on, J-Dead? But I don't know if either of you have seen Jamie Clayton as Pinhead, but to all of those people that think that it can't work with Pinhead being a female, I think you're wrong.
Why when this popped up, it scared the hell out of me.
I'm sorry.
Yo.
Dude, but seriously though, like that looks sick.
That is
fucking good.
That is
I dig it.
It's cool.
And it's still true. There was another image too, like it's still true to like the Pinhead character, you know what I mean? It's not like they drastically changed it, but even look, I was showing this to my dad. He likes Hellraiser. At least that first film. I don't know if he's seen all 10 of them, but like even he was like, look at her neck, like look at all of that, like the detail, and like it's a lot. It's a lot. So
that brings up, and that's gonna bring up a question sometime later in this chat, because like since it's gonna be in this new age, and when is it dropping? 2022, right? It's dropping this year, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, October 7th, so like less than a month. Actually, a month from today. 1 month from today. Yeah. That's true.
Well, my question is, I guess, is like seeing from that picture, like I know, like in Hellraiser, like I don't know what year did that come out, the first Hellraiser.
86 or
okay, so like that was like obviously during the time of like so much practical effects, like that was like the renaissance for practical effects.
Yeah.
Right.
But now we're getting to the age where we're like really delving into the world of like CGI and all that jazz, and knowing from what we know now with like all the CGI movies that we have with like Avatar and all the Marvel movies and Dune and all that other stuff, like I'm curious in regards, because if this is like what Rosalia says is like body horror, like how true, or how much is it going to be practical effects and how much of it is going to be CGI? because
Yeah.
like most of these horror movies, like it's quote unquote Saw and all these other like Final Destination, like those gore when they're CGI, they're kind of like off-putting, like they're not really
Yeah.
like hitting the mark all the time. So I'm curious to see what this 2022 Hellraiser is going to bring in regards to like, are they going to stick with practical effects? Because if it's in Hulu, they're probably going to want to like showcase their like CGI budget. Because I don't know if you've seen JT. Have you seen the new Predator movie?
No, no, I haven't.
It's phenomenal in regards to like how well that movie was put together in regards
I
to
was
like
about
the
to say, I saw the
CGI.
reviews on Twitter and
Yeah,
stuff. Yeah, people's
yeah.
praising it a lot. Yeah.
It was hitting the mark. So I'm curious to see how well they hit the mark on Hellraiser, because I mean Hulu's on a good track. I'll be honest,
Oh
right
yeah.
there. So
I was kind of worried, like when we found out Prey was going to go to like to Hulu, and like when we started getting more of these like like the streaming service announcements of stuff, I was like, I don't know, man. Like I don't know if they're gonna have the budget to make it what it needs to be. But like honestly, I was kind of like, I know you brought up the CGI thing, Miguel, but like I was kind of pleased with how much practical stuff they did with the Predator. Like he was all practical. Like that was a bodysuit. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen any of the behind the scenes stuff, but like the mandibles moving and everything, like it was all prosthetics and animatronic. Like it and it looked really good. It worked. Jonathan Nichols says, pretty sure Pinhead is supposed to be genderless in the novel. It makes sense. Again, it's a demon.
totally,
Like,
totally
why did you know what I mean? Why does it? You know,
Totally get it.
Yeah, it makes sense. JayTee says Clive Barker is what you get if you take Wes Craven and raise him on an all sugar diet in the basement.
Jesus Christ.
Honestly, that's an awesome description. I kind of dig that. Real quick from Bloody Disgusting, it's not super long article. Hellraiser reboot brings pain and suffering to Hulu this October. There's OG Doug Bradley Pinhead. Also
That's
looks
creepy.
sick.
Yeah.
It is creepy, yeah. It's disturbing. I think that's the best word to describe Hellraiser. It's just very disturbing. The Hellraiser
good way,
franchise.
too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree. The Hellraiser franchise returns to life with a brand new Hulu original movie, and by this morning, we've learned that Hulu's Hellraiser will debut October 7th, just like Bretman said. Check out the date reveal below, which gives us a sneak peek at the first look at Sense8. The actress, at Sense8 actress Jamie Clayton is our brand new Hell Priest. Oh yes, there will be pain. Hulu's been having a hell of a year on the horror front, kicking things off fresh. With Fresh, and more recently the Predator franchise with Prey. If the critically acclaimed latter film was any indications, Hulu is taking their horror franchise reboots very seriously, which bodes well for their new Hellraiser movie. We could be in store for a real treat with this one. Now here's the interesting thing. The synopsis reads, a young woman struggling with addiction comes into possession of an ancient puzzle box, unaware that its purpose is to summon the Cenobites, a group of sadistic supernatural beings from another dimension. So that's essentially what Hellraiser is. Like, they're the Saw comparison, where they're basically, it kind of always targets, I guess you'd say, like people who need that like wake up call kind of thing. So I don't know. It's interesting, but obviously it'll be rated R for strong, bloody horror, violence and gore, language, sexual content,
Yeah.
graphic nudity,
Of
like all that
course.
stuff. I mean, I'm like, it's kind of like, okay, duh, So, but I'm excited to see what they do. I mean, I think, like I said, I'm not the biggest Hellraiser fan, but I think this could really work what they're trying to do with it. So it's an interesting thought.
Well, nevertheless, I was gonna ask with in regards to fucking hell, Jada.
JayTee says
it's-
Pinhead's pierced nipple game is on point.
I was gonna ask the guys in the chat in regards to like this movie. I see here from director David Bruckner. He tells EW this is not a remake. I don't think you could ever remake the original Hellraiser. It's too much of its own thing, and would it be, I think, perilous territory for a filmmaker? Because how do you top that? So
Yeah.
that's a good indication. The director's pretty much telling you like this is not going to be a remake. Like this, like it's going to be its own story. And I'm curious to see how like fans of Hellraiser will be whenever they watch the movie, because with much of these horror movies, they always want to try to like remake like things that happened in the in the original. So I'm curious to see how much of a left turn are they going to do with this movie, but also pay homage to the original, because it's really easy to fall into the idea of like making your own thing and end up not being a Hellraiser movie, because that's like one of the biggest thing that a lot of filmmakers can get in trouble with, is either A, like doing a carbon copy of the movie and then not live up to the original hype, or B, make something so vastly different that it's you can't even consider to call it a Hellraiser movie. Because like the whole Resident Evil thing, like I've said this time and time again, like all these Resident Evil movies, great movies. Are they good Resident Evil movies? No. I don't know if you saw this, Brad, but Resident Evil, the TV show on Netflix, was canceled due to poor reviews. So like, as far as as good as some people might think, that shit got canceled. That shit got the can. So I'm curious to see how they play into it. Like, are fans of Hellraiser going to be concerned if it's going to be not a remake, if it's going to be its own thing? Like, how do fans feel in regards to that idea from David Bruckner?
Yeah.
I
Well,
think,
even
go
sorry,
ahead.
go for it. Go for it.
I was about to say, I think when creators do things like this, because obviously now, I feel like Hollywood can't really create anything that's going to be long lasting, such as movies from the 70s and 80s and 90s, that something like this, the fact they said it's not a reboot or a remake, it's like, it's something fresh, and it can honestly attract the attention of like a new audience who didn't even know what. It's going to be someone who watches this and think that this Hellraiser thing is like brand new. But when they do the research on it, because when you start liking something, you start researching it, and then they get to go back and actually see, oh, this is where it came from. So now the whole franchise has been introduced to like a new audience. So I think that's pretty cool when they do stuff like that as well too.
Yeah. Well, and like JT, you see a lot of movies. Like I think we're also at we're at a point too where I feel like even like not even just horror, like if you look at the 70s and the 80s and even the 90s, like the 90s I think we started to break out of that a little bit. Like we just did our first episode of Classics Revisited on Godzilla 1998, and like that movie gets a ton of hate, but like I said this on our show, I was like, look, you cannot knock Roland Emmerich. I can't talk. Jay, there's my first pin stroke of the night. There you go. Like you can't knock Roland Emmerich and that team for taking a friggin' swing at the fences with that movie. Yeah. Like, is it like Miguel would say, is it a great Godzilla movie? I like it, but most Godzilla fans would say that's a garbage Godzilla movie. Right. And I think even like a lot of there are Halloween fans out there that are not a fan of the Blumhouse trilogy so far. Like they're just not.
I don't understand, but okay, we'll get to that.
I get it, but like, stroke counts at one. But like, I think we're at a point, even looking at like the Marvel stuff, I think DC needs to freaking figure this out, because they're trying to do the universe thing, and it's like, okay, I don't think you need to copy Marvel, and I don't think you need to do that. But like, even looking at what's happened with Spider-Man No Way Home and looking at what they're doing, like, I feel like we're at a point now where, like you said, we don't live in a world where it's like you have to have endless sequels in the same timeline. Like, you can have you can have Matt Reeves' Batman over here and still do Ben Affleck's Batman in whatever you're doing over here, and still have another Batman over here. Like we live in a world now where I feel like you can have multiple timelines, and it's not going to confuse people. Like, we live in a world where like we got 3 Spider-Man in the same movie. Like, we live in that world. Like, that happened. That's, you know iconic. What I mean? Like I mean, come on. You know? Iconic. And there was a time where we would have laughed at that and been like, there's no way in hell that's ever going to happen. You know what I mean? But here we are. Yeah. So I think it's interesting, like, this Hellraiser thing is not going to be a reboot, but like, it can be its own thing over here. And if it's great, sweet. If everybody hates it, it's its own thing over here. And you still have all the other ones to go back to. That's why I don't understand. We got to get to our Halloween talk soon, because I'm going to keep bringing up Halloween. But like, there are so many fans that are like, I like the Thorn trilogy, or I just like the original, or I like the Blumhouse trilogy, or I like this, and it's like, okay, but they're all there. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you have to choose one and the rest are going to go away, you know? Like, that's why I have all of them on my shelf back here, because like, I can go pick any timeline I want and watch it. Like, so I don't know. I think it's interesting that we're living in that kind of world where it's like, you can have different kinds of movies, and it can just be its own thing.
Right.
You know, I don't know. Like, you had even brought up Avatar earlier, which JT, I don't know about you.
It's not his thing.
I don't understand the hype, the
When
Avatar
I tell
hype.
you, oh my God, when I tell you, if I could pick one hated movie in the world for myself, it is the Avatar. I went on 2 different dates and fell asleep on both dates to the movie.
Dang.
I hate that movie.
Well, it's like a lot of people say about that movie, man. If you've seen Dances with Wolves, you've seen Avatar. That's pretty much.
And I would argue
people.
Dances with Wolves probably did it better, but I don't know. I get it. Like, we had somebody, like, we had talked about that on an episode, and somebody wrote us like a 6-paragraph thing in the comments about, like, you guys don't understand. Avatar is amazing, and I was like, okay, it's a great movie. Like, I'm not taking that away from Jim Cameron. Like, it's an amazing movie. It really
beautifully
is.
shot too.
It's exactly, and like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing as like King Kong 2005, where it's like the CGI was state of the art. It looked better than anything we had ever seen. I appreciate it,
Right.
but I don't understand why 10 years later we're still acting like it is like God's gift to cinema, and
Yeah.
now we're okay. Like, you're doing a sequel, fine, but like, people lost their minds when they found out there was going to be a sequel, and now we know that James Cameron has been writing. Like, I feel
It's
like he's
3 or 4
sad.
coming out, right?
There's
Not
like
five.
there's like 5 of them. Like,
No.
and he's been taking this decade to like sit in his house and not actually just sit in his house all the time, but like, could you imagine James Cameron like in his basement, like?
Yes, we can.
That's all he's been doing for 10 years. But like, yeah, they have like 5 or 6 of them like in development for the next
I
like
know
3 decades.
When the trailer dropped for the second one, all my friends, everyone is so hyped. They love this movie. I said, I gotta go walk my fish that day.
Gotta go walk my fish.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
watching that.
What's this like the trilogy, like the franchise that they're going into? Is like, what is it, like the Way of the Water? I think it's like this Avatar is
The Way
Like,
of Water, I think.
I think James Cameron just wants to go through all of the fucking elements at this point. That's where he's getting this idea from.
Man, it just sounds long.
It
Yeah.
sounds
Sounds
long.
like
I
a
believe
4-hour
that. Yeah.
movie, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's like
4 hour movie.
Martin Scorsese said about Marvel. It's just gonna be a fun ride. It's like an amusement park. And while that may be a dig on Marvel, I mean, I think it's about as good as a compliment you can have, honestly, because it's just like another genre that you can watch. Honestly, just
Right.
fantasy epic, I guess, is what you could put Avatar in. So
Listen, Avatar I just looked it up on Google. Avatar: The Way of Water, so December 16th is when it releases. It's got 2 budgets listed. One budget says $250 million. The other budget says $350 million. For the budget. That's just the budget. Like,
It's gonna do $1 billion though. It's
oh yeah,
$1 billion.
it'll kill. Like, that's the thing, is like, no matter what any of us think of it, like, it's going to destroy at the box office. Like,
yeah, you know what movie is gonna be a cash grab immediately as soon as it
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
out and slated. Yeah, you know exactly what's gonna be a cash grab.
yeah, I agree. But let's hop back into the horror. So the next one on my list that I really wanted to talk about was Evil Dead Rise. Now, I don't know, JT, what's your experience with the Evil Dead franchise?
I was introduced to it because, again, my friends, they love this stuff, and me, I don't see the hype. I just don't. I don't see the hype. Like,
Yeah.
me, I'm a person where I love to watch new things because there's been a few movies that I was just like, I would never watch this, but now I'm like obsessed. Like,
Right.
you saw my tweet about Stranger Things.
Yes,
And
I was
somebody-
going to ask how that was going, by the way.
Bro, I was an extra in 2 episodes and I saw myself and I was just like, oh my God, I thought you guys were extras like me, you know, and they're like the main
you-
characters.
You were in Stranger Things?
Yeah, 2 episodes. This, you know, when Billy was like hallucinating, he was bumping into everyone at the pool and stuff.
You were there?
I was in that scene, and then I was in the scene where he was talking to Mrs. Wheeler. That's Mike's mom, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bro.
when he was talking to her. I didn't even know.
I gotta
because,
go back
when
and
I
watch
did
it.
Yeah, when I did it, I was just like the guy that plays Billy, he was on the bus with me, and I knew he was a lifeguard, but again, I didn't watch the show. So,
Yeah.
like, I thought he was just like an extra
Right.
that was cast as a lifeguard. And when I seen he was doing like the pushing thing and stuff, I was just like, oh, okay, maybe he's one that's like tweaking right now. So now that I'm watching it, I'm just like, oh, okay. Now
I'll
I'm
have
like
to go back
obsessed with
and
Stranger
watch
Things.
that. Honestly,
Yeah.
I've been wanting to. How far are you? Are you like
Actually, this morning before work, I watched the first half of the season 4 finale, but I gotta watch
okay?
when I get off
Okay.
with you guys, I'm gonna watch the rest
Okay.
of it and I'll be
So
done.
you're like caught up for the most part, except
Oh
for
yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
last half hour.
Yeah.
Wait. So yeah, you're digging it though.
Obsessed.
It's good, man.
It,
It's good,
look,
man.
I found like 3 shirts that I want, a hoodie. I ordered the vinyl record. Like it's bad. It's
I have
Nice.
a I have a few Stranger Things shirts myself, actually.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. The only thing is, like, I told Miguel and like my wife, because Miguel and his girlfriend and me and my wife like watched it together, like those last 2 episodes, like binged it, and
Hmm.
I said the worst part about Stranger Things since the very beginning is like we'll have one season and then like a 2-year gap, and then another season and then like a 2-year gap. Like when we went to start season 4, I was like, I kind of don't even remember what happened at the end of season 3. I have to I had to go back and like read the summary to actually
Yeah.
like understand
Now,
what was going on.
I will say a lot of my coworkers, like literally everyone I work with but me, it's like 12 of us that work together, and everybody's seen it but me. And they were
Yeah.
just like, I'm jealous because you get to watch all of them back to back to back.
Oh
But
Yep.
yeah.
when you think about the amount of special effects that the show used, the
Oh
2 year
yeah.
gap is honestly because roughly it takes like 6 to 8 months to film an entire season of any show. But when you got to add in that level of special effects and everything like that,
Right.
a 2 year gap sounds about accurate.
Mhm.
Because
That does make sense. Yeah.
Stranger Things does not look cheap.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, it's top tier. It's top tier.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
the and
Yeah.
and where we are right now, and so far of like, oh god, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but like where we are right now in the season, like it's now become like a huge epic at that point. Like
Yeah.
we've literally like crossed the threshold of what Stranger Things, what it, like it went down because of where it started. It's just like a purely like homage to like 80s horror, and like
Right.
now we've just like crossed the threshold to like this huge epic now.
Because season 4 is clearly a homage to A Nightmare on Elm Street. Like,
Yeah.
let's just keep it
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just like, yeah, this is insane. I love it though.
Yeah. JDad says, dude just casually dropped season Stranger Things. I'd have a shirt made saying I was in it, and it'd be scrolling across the bottom of my screen. Yeah, man. Well, dude, you were in Black Panther too, right?
Black Panther, the Tupac Shakur biopic,
Mhm.
Stranger Things, 2 episodes. I did both Medea Halloween movies. I did Tyler Perry's show, If Loving You Is Wrong. I did Barbershop the Next Cut. I've done 2 Old Navy commercials, and yeah, and the list is currently still going.
There
Yeah,
you
That's
go,
sick,
man.
like
Hey,
yeah, and
keep that
Kevin
resume
Hart.
going.
Got to be. Kevin Hart, he's in an upcoming Netflix movie they're currently filming, and they are asking me, can they use it's something about pop culture or whatever. And I did a video about Beyonce's new album that recently
Oh,
came out.
sweet.
And they're basically gonna pay me just to use a clip of my YouTube video in that movie. So yeah,
That's
it's
Nice.
pretty legit.
That's
Pretty
sick.
Look
legit.
at that.
So it's also
Yeah.
the acting thing and all that's going really well, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure.
That's awesome, dude. Weren't you writing? If I remember correctly, weren't you writing something like an original thing
Yeah.
the last time we talked to you? How's that going?
I already got it copyrighted, and that's what it's like. I'm gonna do my podcast to link to that. So it's called #LowKey. It's about a guy who is honestly like going against the narratives of what society thinks that a guy is and stuff. Like
Uh-huh.
he can be emotional, he can do this, and so I'm trying to like ship it to like different like production companies and stuff. But I'm trying
Yeah.
to get like my character developments and everything like that. And my podcast will be basically about the topics that the show will cover. So we're talking about relationships, emotions, is everything that what guys usually don't talk about.
Right. That sounds
So, yeah.
awesome, dude.
Breaking
Like,
barriers,
you're-
dude. Honestly, and that's
You're
something
awesome.
that's coming up a lot. Honestly, it was like the topic of like of guys like of what it means to like be a man. Like you
Yeah.
can't show emotions. You got to have all this other stuff that like
Exactly.
kind of just like almost everything in like in regards to emotion of a man just kind of gets thrust under the rug. But now recently,
Yeah.
now that rug just being lifted up, it's like, hey, nah, man, we got shit to
Yeah.
contend with too, man. So.
Yeah, and I guess the thing I like most about it is that I came up with the idea from one of my other favorite shows, it's called Insecure, is that every episode, being that my podcast would be called Low Key and the show would be called Low Key as well, every episode, the title would start low key. Like I know our first episode was about adulting, like when did you realize you were becoming an adult? So it's called Low Key Adulting. And then,
Yeah.
low key this, low key that, because it's such a common saying. So like I'm just gonna stick it with that. So yeah, it's cool.
So on your podcast, are you are you like telling the story that you've written, or is it like more just kind of like a companion piece thing to it?
Basically, so all the topics that we'll cover in the podcast, it's like every episode will like cover those things. It's gonna be something that every guy has endured, like with jobs, relationships, family, friends, you just everything, So covering like
you're doing it right.
Holidays. Yeah. So to me, I want to be that voice because I feel like so many things can speak out about, how women feel and how girls feel and everything. But it's not really anyone out there to say, this is how guys look at things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is how guys
For sure.
feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to be the final guy when it comes down to like...
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it.
So yeah, like I'm excited, man. I'm definitely gonna have you guys on once we start getting it up and running.
Sweet,
for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Appreciate the
Tell
invite.
us when, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That sounds awesome. By the way, Fruit Loops are us. What's going on? Anyone else on the struggle bus with me? I feel like I've been on the struggle bus for the last like month and a half. Like I've lived on the struggle bus. Hope you're doing all right though, Fruit Loops. But yeah, like this is not at all comparison. It's just like while I was like thinking about it, because you made me think about it about writing. I'm actually kind of trying my hand at, and I'm doing it for the show. I mean, this is very much like just for the channel. I'm not trying to get anything out of this, but like, I'm writing. It's not necessarily a script, but it's a treatment of what I would do if they remade Halloween, like what I would like to see. Like if they,
with anything,
I will. I'll honestly, once we go, I'm not going to talk about it now because I'm going to try. I'm hoping to get it done for Oktoberfest so that I can make a video of it. Because like my idea is to make like I'll explain it after. I don't want to give it away on here, but like
Sneak peek.
I know. So like I've given little sneak peeks of it, but like basically my idea would focus on Loomis. Like, it's not necessary. Like, Laurie, I'm fine with Laurie being in the story, but, like, tell it from Loomis's perspective and, like, dive into, like, what did that 15 years do to him emotionally? You know what I mean? Because, like, I would imagine, like, if you tried your hardest to get through to somebody for that long, like, I feel like that would emotionally damage you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you feel like you failed. So then it's like when Michael gets out and when Michael like starts doing his thing, Loomis is like, he feels guilty. He's like, I have to stop this. You know what I mean? So like, I don't know. I'm trying my hand at that. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I get it done for Oktoberfest. If not, I'll release it some other time. But
I'm invested.
So I know. So it'll be cool.
I've been investing since he said it, man. Every now and then I'd be like, "Hey, dog, how's that screenwrite going?" Or he'd be like, "Oh, working hard on it, man. Working hard on it." I'd be like, "Well, I need to read it like yesterday because this shit looks fire."
And I'm sure you know how it is. Like every time I look at it, I'm like honestly, J-Dead, you're kind of not far off from what I'm thinking. But like, add in the sound effects of what's happening and things like that. That's kind of what I'm going for. But like, like anytime you write something or do something or like even editing for the channel, I'll do something and then I'll go back and look at it a few days later and I'm like, no, and I'll get rid of all of it. You know what I mean? Like writing is a really weird process of like, you do something and then you get rid of it and then you redo it and then you do something and you get rid of it. And it's just like this, I don't know, it's a weird process. At least that's kind of how I go about it, We're
going to start a support group for that.
Support group, yep.
Yeah.
We'll do an episode of your podcast on it. There we go. Exactly. Right there. So let's keep going. So we got, I don't even know how we got so off track. We were talking about Evil Dead Rise, but so Miguel, you were actually pretty excited to get to Evil Dead, like the franchise on Purely and Simply Evil.
Mainly because of the fact that like Evil Dead was probably one of the movies that I genuinely did give it a try. Back when I was a scared little child, with horror, I gave Evil Dead a shot, mainly because like I loved how Ash was just like going throughout the whole movie, and the whole idea of the cabin in the woods, like those tropes, really, I actually enjoyed those a lot. And whenever I started watching them nowadays, the practical effects are by far is like that's like the bar the lot that was set in horror franchise back then. Like with what Evil Dead did with like the horror with the demons and the gore and all that stuff, like they really set the bar. And I consider like Evil Dead like one of my favorite franchises in horror. You know, like
Yeah.
I'd say it's definitely in my top 3. And I was excited to know that HBO show like Evil Dead, I think it was Ash versus the Evil Dead, that remake that came out, or like that rebooter, so to speak, or a continuation, whatever you say. When that came out, I was all excited. And now that they're doing with Evil Dead Rise, I don't think Campbell is coming back to this one, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think he's coming back, so it's gonna be another.
Oh no, he is.
Is he really? I did not.
Well,
catch
he
that.
okay.
I thought he wasn't gonna be in it.
I take that back. He's not in it. He might have a cameo, but Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are the producers. Like they're like
Okay.
they're backing it. Like they didn't write it. Well, they might have I don't know. They might have partially written it. I forget who is actually writing it. I gotta look it up. Hang on. Evil Dead Rise. Yeah, Lee Cronin. Lee Cronin is actually
The director, yeah.
writing and directing. He did a couple of other shorts and films like that, but he is also or Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell are also they're pretty attached to the project. So like, I mean, it's not necessarily like a reboot or a sequel or anything. Again, it's just kind of its own, like, I think it's set in the universe, but it's just its own separate thing. Mm-hmm. But the good news about it, though, is that Warner Brothers actually made a good decision for once, which I say that because of all the, like, I don't know, JT, if you've kept up with, like, the DC stuff and, like, the stuff that went down with Zack Snyder and their
It's like I heard
ridiculous
about it, but
decisions.
No, I'm more of a. My friends bully me to be more into Marvel now. So like,
know.
yeah.
We're
But pop culture, you keep up with the drama.
Yeah, you got
and we love both, but like just some of the decisions that Warner Brothers has made with the DC like properties is just like,
Yeah.
why would you do that? You know,
very
why?
questionable.
Yeah. But anyways, the good news about this is it's been testing incredibly well. Like, it's had quite a few test screenings, and if you know, like, basically, when you go to a test, like, JT, you would know this, like, did you have to do, like, a focus group kind of thing after any of the test screenings that you've been in? Or, like, give it a score? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, every single test screening that Evil Dead Rise has had, it's scoring, like, in the high 90s. Like, people are absolutely loving it. Like, even non-horror fans are like, that was freaking awesome. So, the good news is that it is getting it was supposed to debut on HBO Max later in the year, but I'm sure now with the whole deal, partially due to the fact that we know HBO Max is going to go away soon, but now the Evil Dead Rise is actually going to have a theatrical release on April 21st of next year.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah. And listen,
upgrade.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
for real. And let's be real, a horror flick testing in the 90s in every single theater you put it in front of, like,
Yeah.
that's pretty nuts. Like, that's a really good thing. So I'm pretty excited to see what that is. The synopsis of it reads, in the fifth Evil Dead film, so I guess it is kind of a sequel, a road-weary Beth pays an overdue visit to her older sister Ellie, who is raising 3 kids on her own in a cramped LA apartment. The sisters' reunion is cut short by the discovery of a mysterious book, the Necronomicon, buried deep in the bowels of Ellie's building, giving rise to flesh-possessing demons and thrusting Beth into a primal battle for survival as she's faced with the most nightmarish version of motherhood imaginable. And that synopsis may or may not be the most Sam Raimi thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, it really is. So, I'm excited, man. It'll be pretty cool, so...
I'm uber excited about it because honestly, like, I love Sam Raimi as a director. I love the directions he does, and knowing the route they're gonna take with it, and even though like it is confirmed right here that Bruce Campbell is not gonna be in it, but he will be playing a huge part in the movie's production. So I think even though the legendary Ash is not going to be in the movie, I think with Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi, I think they'll definitely be able to do this movie justice.
Oh,
just
yeah.
as well as like say the Halloween franchise. Like I think they'll definitely give it Justin with the 90 upper 90s review ratings. Shit, I'm excited for it now.
Well, and I mean, like, honestly, I don't think Sam Raimi is the kind of dude that would just, like, do it for a cash, like, do it just to get a paycheck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like he would only sign on if he, like, legitimately believed in what he was about to see.
I believe it,
so,
yeah.
I think that's pretty cool, but... Byron, I see we're gonna get to Halloween in just a second, but real quick, Byron says, I think chances are she'd be in college age, but given the trauma Allison Nelson experienced, there's a chance she never pursued college. I could see that. Byron also says, I'm 50-50 with this film. I thought Halloween Ends was going to be a coming-of-age story for Allison, not this Corey Cunningham stuff. I'll give Halloween Ends... a chance when it comes out on Friday, October 14th. Yeah, man, I don't know. There's a lot to talk about there, and I'm excited. I'm wanting to get through this so we can get there. There's just so much to talk about, which is it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have when there's too much horror news to talk about. Like, you know what I mean? That's a good problem to have. Real quickly, we're not going to spend too much time on this, but we would be crazy if we didn't take a second to acknowledge the magic of the horror fan film world too. Like, you have Never Hike Alone 2, which is in production, which Vincent DeSanti, dude, has been completely knocking it out of the park. If you've kept up with that, you have Dylan's New Nightmare, which is going to be in production, which is a sequel to Wes Craven's New Nightmare, which is going to be sick. Yeah, and Dave McRae is playing Freddy Krueger, which is just like perfect. Like, anybody that I have ever imagined to play Freddy, I'm like, damn, yeah, Dave. Like that. Like, that's it, man. I would love to have Dave on the show sometime. That'd be a blast. You have the Sawyer Massacre, who Steve was in here earlier, but we're gonna get Steve Merlo on the show. Hopefully within the next couple of weeks. We got to work out a time for that. But we're gonna have him on the show because the Sawyer Massacre is about to come back. And this morning, speaking of Dave McRae, the voice man himself, It's Me, Billy 2 was announced not even 24 hours ago, like 11 hours ago. So we're getting the sequel. Dave McRae posted this morning. It's official. It's Me, Billy. Chapter 2 is in development, and a script is commenced. Chapter 2 brings our two-part series and the Black Christmas story unofficially to an epic conclusion, and the Indiegogo campaign begins next year. So, JT, do you keep up with the horror fan film stuff at all?
I've recently actually just gotten into them. So, like, I know Jimmy Champagne hits, what was it, Happy Halloween?
Oh, he did a good, he did a good one.
That is what kind of made me start looking more into
that was a good one.
Yeah, like, I'm invested because, like, I support independent films and I support, like, people, like, who's trying to break into that industry, especially at a time where it's so hard to do. So, yeah.
I'll tell you what, Vincent DeSantis, another person I would love to have on the show, Vince... Never Hike Alone. He's done 2 films in that. It was originally supposed to be a whole series, the Never Hike Alone films, which I if I remember correctly, I think it's... So he did a Friday the 13th sequel, but it's a sequel to Jason Takes Manhattan. And he actually brought back, what's his name? The guy who plays Tommy Jarvis, like, for the fan film. Like, it is the most... And this is not a knock. I mean, Dave's film is amazing. Happy Halloween is amazing. Like, all of these, I'm sure Dylan's New Nightmare is going to look amazing. Like, all of these are great. The Sawyer Massacre. But Never Hike Alone is... if you put that in front of somebody, like, you wouldn't be able to guess that was a fan film. Or that it was not a studio-backed production. Like, the quality is that good.
And it's on YouTube?
Oh yeah, it's on YouTube,
Yeah,
dude. You
check
gotta
that
watch
out.
it. There's 2 of them. Watch Never Hike in the Snow first because that's a sequel.
Okay.
And it's Jason in the Snow, which is something that people have always wanted to see, and it's sick. It's sick, man. There's something like extra creepy about seeing Jason walk around like during a blizzard kind of situation.
Because he has a very dark aesthetic.
Yeah.
So crisp white. Yeah.
Yeah, and even like blood on snow, it just I don't know, man. It hits different than usual. It's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the fan film thing, they're just knocking it out of the park. Like, we even had let me get this pulled up here. We had the first couple of images again from Bloody Disgusting of Jason in Never Hike Alone 2. Yeah, like
It looks sick.
that's as good as any Jason we've ever gotten on screen.
I was about to say,
seriously,
why get another Friday 13? We got this.
Seriously,
right?
It's that good.
That whole lawsuit is literally nothing to me now at this point. Now that we have these fan films.
I mean, you're bringing back the original actors. You have a really well-told story. The effects and the story, it's amazing. It's fan-freaking-tastic. What are you laughing at me for? You laughing at me?
It's fan-freaking-tastic. Love that good old dad pun, buddy. Loving it.
What are you going to do? Bloody Disgusting. First images from the fan film sequel Spotlight. Jason Voorhees and Tom Matthews. Tom Matthews, that's his name. Never Hike Alone 2 was successfully funded through Indiegogo earlier this year, and the team at Womp Stomp Films is bringing us our very first look. Vincent DeSanti is back to direct Never Hike Alone 2, the sequel to one of the most successful and celebrated horror franchise fan films of all time, 2017's Never Hike Alone. On August 18th, 2022, Never Hike Alone 2 officially began production on the first of 15 days of principal photography. And here's a couple of just the images, you know. I'm not going to go too in depth because, JayTee, you haven't seen it. But obviously we got that first image of Jason, which just looks, I mean, it's so badass. And we have Tommy Jarvis, man, which is awesome. Do you remember Tommy? From Jason Lives? I guess he was also in part 4, but he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's like I have the entire collection on Blu-ray. I have to go back and check it out.
Yeah, dude, it's just they're doing such a great job with that, man. Like, it's just it's amazing. Oh, there was one more. I didn't even see. I suck. This is why I can't have 10,000 different screens open. Yeah, it's good. it's as good as anything. So I mean, seriously, like, congrats to Dave and Bruce, congrats to Vince, congrats to Steve Merlo and Cecil Laird and everybody working on these things, man. It's just it's amazing. Like, Max Raid says, not to knock other fan films, but there are 2 fan films that look like Hollywood films. It's Me, Billy, and Never Hike Alone. From start to finish, it's legit pro, and it is. But if you look at what they did, they've gone through. They've gone through the process that a studio would go through. I mean, they've taken the time to hire professional people to do the production. They've taken the time to build a cast and a crew that is professional and a budget that is professional, you know? So I think when you take the time to do that, it's like, of course they're going to, Byron, that's a good point. Halloween Inferno parts 1 through 3. That's another one. It's great, which is a sequel to Halloween 2018. It's like their version of what Halloween Kills would be, you know? Yeah. So it's awesome, man. It's really cool. So,
and I like the trend these fan films are doing, honestly, because I've said this before. Like, honestly, like, these fan film directors, like, you guys are pretty much gonna be like, you guys are the future of a new genre that's gonna blow up the whole movie industry. Like, I'm pretty sure like top tier movie studios are probably like shivering in their pants right now in regards to like how well these fan films are doing, because like, guess what? Like, this is like, these movies are fan driven and fan filmed. Like, these are what we want to see and what we're willing to drop our money in. Like, we're willing to drop in as $100 just to see this movie get created, as compared to just paying $20 to buy a ticket. So like, at a core, these are probably the most like fan loved movies that we're gonna have in the coming years. So I'm really excited for all these directors that are coming out and wanting to create their own story. So
I contributed to It's Me, Billy, and to Never Hike in the Snow.
Yep. So pretty soon we're all going to be we're going to be contributing movies that we want to see more and more. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, for sure, man. JayTee, have you ever thought about doing that, like a small independent flick, like to get rolling?
Honestly,
Matt Grin says he's in it.
Yeah, I was about to say, give me another, I'm saying, like 7 to 10 months. I have 2 things dropping. Yeah, just give me time.
Yeah. Get an Indiegogo and we'll contribute, my man.
We're just gonna let that stew for a little bit, and we'll come back in a couple months. We'll have you back on in 7 months, and then we can and then we'll do it. So, let's talk our 2 biggest topics of the evening. Friday the 13th and Halloween. So let's do Friday the 13th just real quick first.
Yeah.
Before we get to our Halloween stuff. So essentially, with Friday the 13th, last year they ruled that Victor Miller owned the rights to the original screenplay of the first film, but again, that first film, it was Pamela Voorhees. Jason really wasn't a character, except for when he, you know what I mean, when he like jumps out at the end, and it wasn't Jason that we know, you know?
Right.
So the problem is, Victor Miller owns the original screenplay and the Friday the 13th name, but Sean Cunningham owns the Jason that we know, like the hockey mask, machete, like the Jason that we got in all of the Friday the 13th sequels. So we've kind of been at an impasse. Like, yes, technically the lawsuit is over. Like Larry Zerner, who played what's his name? He played the brother in Friday the 13th Part 3. I forget what his name was in the film. But he's an entertainment lawyer now, and he's actually been doing a really good job of like keeping track with everything that's been going on, and like posting about it on Twitter and things like that. But the problem with this is one person owns the character and another person owns the property. So it's almost like, okay, the lawsuit is over, but what do you do with that now?
So, is it one person owns the character named Jason, and the other party owns like the look? I'm assuming, or is it just the title Friday the 13th?
I believe it's the Friday the 13th title and everything involved in that original film is owned by Victor. It's a lot. It's like a twister game in your brain. But Sean Cunningham actually owns the like the hockey mask, like the character of Jason, like what we got in like Friday the 13th Part 3 and in the later sequels.
Because I always wondered, I was just like, if you guys can come to an agreement, the person who owns like Jason, why not just not even call it Friday the 13th, just call it Jason Voorhees?
Right.
That's
I don't
true,
know.
yeah.
And that's kind of interesting. That's an interesting thought, and we'll kind of talk about like what we would like to see in just a minute. But a couple weeks ago we got a little bit of a tease here, and let me see if I have this image. I don't know if I got both images. No, I only got the one. So I have the article from. Let me see. I think it's on Bloody Disgusting. I have the article here. So on Sean Cunningham's cameo, he updated the bio a couple weeks ago. And the bio actually stated that Sean F. Cunningham directed and produced the seminal horror film Friday the 13th, creating the iconic villain Jason Voorhees. The movie has spawned 12 installments with a 13th scheduled for next year. Now, that was updated a couple weeks ago. Now, here's the weird thing, though. Not too long ago, it was changed, and now his cameo bio says Sean S. Cunningham directed and produced the seminal horror film Friday the 13th, creating the iconic villain Jason Voorhees. The movie has spawned 12 installments. So there was a lot of rumblings about like the possibility of maybe we're going to get a new film, but then suddenly that just kind of stopped. Mm-hmm. So it's like, okay, the only way that this could possibly work is for Sean and Victor to have made a legal agreement.
Yeah.
That's the only way that this could be possible. But my question is, did Sean Cunningham, was he really trying to tease something, or did he just jump the gun and like he said something too quick, but they like a studio or like somebody really wasn't ready for that just yet? You know what I mean?
Their lawyers were freaking out. They're like, dude, take that shit down, take that shit down,
I know.
take that shit down.
Now.
That's a lot of money coming. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
So, I don't know.
That's kind of what I figured was happening. Is like he probably thought like they're making some headway with this lawsuit, so that he was just ready to jump the gun. But I mean, obviously, this is gonna be never ending, and they obviously had to push some dates back because I can guarantee you there's a script somewhere in one of their houses ready to go as soon as this lawsuit is over. Yeah. But they just keep pushing it back, and JT, you said like, why don't they just work together? And that was something I thought of too. Like, I'm pretty sure we're all thinking of that right now. It's like you have like a box office grabber. Like, if Jason's on there, Friday 13th's on there, you're gonna grab some box office.
You're gonna
hits.
make some money. And the fact that I've not seen him in over 10 years, I guess the thing that frustrates me, and I think I have my math right, is that honestly, if you actually look at the calendar for next year, in October, we will have it will be Friday the 13th in October of next year. And then I think it's been 13 years since the last like remake, reboot, or whatever. So to me, I feel like you have like the perfect time. Come up with something, or give it to Blumhouse, because you get the Blumhouse. I mean,
Blumhouse will do whatever. He'll give us something, and something worthy to watch. Honestly, whether people like it or not, it's something worthy to watch.
Hey, I will be right back. Miguel, you got the chat for just a minute too.
Sure. Yeah, I got the chat.
Right, I'll be 2 seconds. I'll be right back.
All right. So, but JT, do you understand that? Like, I never understood why this whole lawsuit was happening in the first place, because like the way I always saw it, like you got Scream coming in. And then you also got Michael Myers with Halloween. Like, you got these great fucking franchises coming out of the woodworks. And, like, horror in general is, like, sparking. Like, it's, like, heating up now. Like, everyone's wanting to watch horror movies, myself included.
Everyone wants the vintage villains. Like, Freddy, Michael, Jason, even Chucky has his own TV show. Like,
that is true. That is true,
It's crazy to me. Like, I don't understand. What is the holdup? Like, why can't we just come to agreement? Because I think regardless, it's gonna go to New Line Cinema. I think, if I'm not mistaken, or Paramount. It's one of the two. It's New Line Cinema or Paramount. It's one of the two. I can't remember which one, but I don't understand where the deflect is coming in. Like, I don't get it, and it's irritating because it's been long overdue for Jason to like grace the movie screen. Like, it's been long overdue.
Yeah, I believe it. And Jason's probably like, I'd say he's definitely a heavy hitter in regards to the horror community as well. Like, like, say what you will about Michael Myers or like Freddy Krueger. Like, Freddy Krueger and Jason are like definitely like top tier when it comes to like pop culture. For sure.
Like, those three are like the Holy Trinity, like legit.
Holy Trinity.
They're the Holy Trinity. Like, If
so
no one else makes money, they will.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that as soon as like the whole lawsuit like comes to like some sort of agreement, and we get like a new Jason movie comes out, I'm okay with all these fan films, because I think that's the reason why these fan films have come out of the woodworks. Why Never Hike Alone is hitting so many marks is because like all these fans are just so tired of waiting for this freaking lawsuit, and they're the ones keeping up with it. Myself, I don't keep up with it. I'm enjoying what we're getting with these fan films. But
I was about to say, that's me. Yeah, I don't keep up, only because like every time I feel like, okay, cool, then it's something else. It's like you're dangling like the prize in front of us. Like, it's annoying at this point.
Yeah, and
I don't know.
And I'm sure that's gonna like bring more people into the theaters whenever the movie does drop. But for right now, like seeing all these like lawsuits coming in and how it's perpetually like come up with something new and pushing the movies back, like it's like, dude, man, like I'm okay with watching this Never Hike Alone on YouTube constantly. Like I'll watch it consistently. Like I prefer those honestly over some of the predecessors, all the other installments from Friday the 13th.
Yeah. Like, so, I don't understand. I guess like I feel like the more you continuously push it back, the less interested your audience is gonna be. You know?
Oh, so, I believe that. I think they're gonna miss. Yeah. I hope they don't miss it. I hope they don't miss this craze that's going on with horror. Because if they miss it, I mean they're losing a shit ton of money.
And me personally, I mean, I feel like Halloween is the best thing to ride off of. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like Halloween is going out. Bring Jason, and honestly, bring Freddy Krueger back as well too. To be honest,
I'd agree.
Bring them back.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Did you miss Friday the 13th as much as you've missed me? No, I'm kidding. Sorry, the dog was wanting this upstairs. The cat was wanting out. I was sorry.
No, it's all good.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I haven't heard what you guys were talking about, but
we were just talking about like how this whole like Friday the 13th thing is still like. I personally worry that if they don't come up with some sort of resolution, they're gonna miss out on this craze. And like JT said, like with Halloween Ends coming pretty soon, like we're all gonna be wanting more. And you said this before, Brad, that like don't immediately create another Halloween sequel. Like, let that shit like simmer down for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let some other pop culture horror icon come into the fold, because like Scream is doing okay, but like that franchise is getting some flack right now, so like that's on the chopping block pretty soon. Like, we don't know that franchise is kind of iffy right now from what I can tell throughout all the news. So the only two other icons we have is Chucky, who is like, again, just low key going under the radar. It's making a good show.
Hold up,
But
I was about to say that show is top tier. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. Is it that good?
Look, I will watch the show before any of the movies. Like, if I had the option to get rid of one or the other, I would get rid of the
Wow.
movie before the show. Like, the show.
Oh, wow.
It's good. It is good, and I was watching it. I was expecting to fall off after like episode 3 or 4 just to give it a shot, because I gave up on Chucky a long time ago. But yeah, the show, it has me. Yeah, the show is top tier.
I
Yeah,
love
I
that,
don't know.
man. I need to check it out then.
Please.
Because I've heard it's kind of gaining a lot of steam, especially for a TV show, man.
It has.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. And like Chucky has not changed. Like they don't limit like his cursing, the blood, nothing. Like everything is like legit. I'm just like, you guys should have been doing this a long time ago.
Yeah. Child's Play was always one of those franchises, like, other than the first one, it just didn't interest me at all, Like, I just kind of like, I don't know, and maybe that would change, I don't know, but it's just like, it's one of those things where I'm just kind of like, I don't really care, but I don't know, maybe the show would change that, so.
I respect Child's Play because they made Chucky to be like a freaking asshole, like pretty much. Yeah. They made us like him right out the back. Like, he was not like some, like, they didn't make him out to be like some scary entity. It was like, no, this is just a serial killer with a mind inside of a fucking doll, and he just wants to have fun.
Yeah,
so
for sure, man.
that's why I respect Child's Play and that franchise. So
yeah.
Halloween Ends says, hate to interrupt, fellas. You should be. No, I'm kidding. You're fine. Hate to interrupt, but I always wonder what Jason would be like from, I'm guessing his age from 2009 to Jason to now, but I'm not trying to say how old would Jason be as of now. I don't know. In the 2009 reboot, he was probably...
He was running. So
he was running. He was like, I'd say like 20s or 30s, maybe, like early 30s.
Really?
He's a
maybe
ghost, though.
40 something.
Really?
Yeah, he looked. Like,
I don't know. Maybe.
Isn't Jason a ghost though?
Yeah.
No,
I thought.
I mean, they call him Ghost Jason, but like, I mean, he's really more of a zombie than anything else. If we're being completely honest, like, he really kind of is. So I don't know, but that's an interesting thought. One way to get around the lawsuit would be to make an anthology series for now. Call it Crystal Lake Campfire Stories. Have it set in the 80s, with each episode being a short story told by camp counselors.
Damn. Where'd that come from, J-Dad?
J-Dad, somebody needs to send you an invoice.
Yeah.
Write that down.
Put him on the payroll.
I know, right? That's not bad. I kind of dig that. And Byron brings up a good point too. Who should get a Friday the 13th? Blumhouse, Spyglass Media Group, A24, Lionsgate, New Line Cinema, Paramount, Hulu, Netflix. The same goes for Halloween after Halloween ends, and that's true. Like, I get that, like, there's an infinite play. Now, I don't think that every one of those companies should do a Friday the 13th story. I don't think that needs to happen. But like, my thing kind of like, even going back to the lawsuit thing, like between Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller, like, I don't understand why, and I know like people are greedy, and I don't know either of them personally. I've never talked to them. I don't know, but I kind of like, I don't understand. If it were me and I was like, listen, we made this little horror movie back in the 80s that, like, we didn't expect it to be like one of the most revered horror flicks of all time. Like, we did a really cool thing. It spawned like one of the most beloved franchises in cinema history. Mm-hmm. Like, we did a really cool thing. I don't understand why you're still fighting for it 3 decades later.
Just
like,
money. I think it's
like,
money.
But even like,
it definitely can be, yeah.
But like, just come together and be like, look, you know what? Let's split it. Like, split the deal. It's gonna make bank anyways. Like, just be like, you know what? We could probably make more money together than we could trying to fight over who owns the rights to what piece of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't really understand why it's like, just be humble about it. Like, you did something really cool. You created a story that people love. Like,
Right.
just enjoy that. You know what I mean? Like, let's be real. I don't think that, again, I could be wrong, but I don't think Sean Cunningham and Victor Miller are like putting out bangers or like a new film every year. You know what I mean? Like,
It's true.
you know, so I don't, and that's not a knock at them at all. Like if I don't think Sean or Victor would be listening to this, but like, it's not a knock at them at all. I don't understand why we can't just like Fruit Loops R Us said, like a kiss and make up kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like, just like,
I was gonna say a Fruit
like,
Loops comment right there.
Just, I don't know. I don't really get it. But it brings up a whole interesting question. And JT, I'm going to throw this to you first of like, what would you even want to see from a new Friday the 13th project? Like, do you like theatrical? I mean, because there's a lot of questions in that, like theatrical or streaming, or Jason or Pamela, sequel, reboot.
Man.
Like, what do you do?
First of
you
all,
know?
if they try to do a stream only for Jason, that cheapens the franchise.
I
I
agree.
do not care. Jason is bigger than Netflix and Hulu and Peacock and all of that. But I also don't want to see the whole direct sequel thing, because I see a lot of people are trying to do that because they see what it did for Halloween. I don't want to see everyone taking it back to the original and retconning like everything, because for every franchise that doesn't work, you know?
Right.
And with Jason, to me personally, I mean, other than his mom in the first one, his story has always been kind of, because with Michael, we have key things like the Myers house, his sister Judith. Like, we have so many different, you know, we have Laurie Strode, all that. Like, Jason does not even have like really a final girl or nothing like that, you know, to even play off of. So to me, I don't know personally. I mean, I guess, but then it explain him a little bit more, I guess, and we don't want to humanize him, I don't think, or do we? But what about his dad? Like, what was the relationship like with the dad and the mom? And did he see his dad become abusive or anything? And maybe that's why he was so angry, and you know, that's why he's like such a mama's boy, because he's seen what the dad did. And you know, I guess we can take it that route, but like, I don't know where to pick it up from, and I don't know what, you know, sequels to pick it up from. To me personally, the 2009 reboot was it. Like, I really enjoyed it. I don't know why it caught so much hate, but I feel like that's a good place to pick up from. To me personally,
I enjoyed it too.
From that more recent
the newest
sequel.
one. Yeah.
I would be okay with that. I mean, I honestly, I think it's been a little too long now maybe to do that. But like, Derek Mears he was amazing as Jason. Like, he was definitely like one of the best Jasons we've ever gotten. Yeah. But like, I don't know. I think, like, you know, going back to like the what do you do with the character, like, first of all, and I know a lot, I think Dave McRae has talked about this, a lot of people are like, go back and do the Pamela thing. But like, here's the problem with going back and doing Pamela. Even like every time I've gone back and watched the original Friday the 13th movie, it kind of like
hate Pamela.
it kind, but well, not even that. Like, she was a good character, and I mean, like, listen, for 1980, I'm sure it was like, what? Like, this little, like, this old woman is killing all these people. Like I'm sure that would have been a really big deal. But the problem with doing Pamela now is it's like, it's not a whodunit anymore. Like, you know who did it. Like, it's not, you can't do like redo the surprise. You know what I mean? Like, the cat's already out of the bag. Yeah. So like, how do you do, at least Jason is beloved already. How do you do Pamela? And because people are just going to be like, okay, but where's Jason? You know what I mean? The entire time. Yeah. Like, that's all you're going to do. So I don't know. I think that's interesting. But like, going back to the humanizing Jason thing part, like, I even think back to like Freddy versus Jason. Like, they humanized Jason a lot in that film. I mean, we got Jason shriveled up on the floor crying.
Did you not like
in his dream? I liked it, and I think it worked. It worked.
That right there, it really showed the power of like Freddy Krueger, though. It was like, because like we all knew of Jason being this fucking juggernaut
just
zombie
like
that
hulking
just can't be killed
beast.
And then fucking Freddy came in there and just fucked with his mind, and next thing you know, he's just a shriveled up boy. It was like dang.
Yeah. The question being that we brought up Freddy versus Jason, being that they can't come up with a solution for just a Friday the 13th film, and Robert Englund is basically saying, I know Jason Blum can get him back, no doubt about it. Do you think that maybe, possibly, it'll probably be better to do a Freddy versus Jason sequel, opposed to like a standalone film for both serial killer icons?
That'd be
'Cause
interesting.
I think I would like a Freddy vs. Jason 2 opposed to independent movie, because I don't want to
Yeah.
go back and have to learn your story over again. Like I honestly would like to see the battle again.
Well, that's the thing is
Would
if
you like
they
to
do
start off the franchise with that, with the sequel?
Maybe, yeah. And
Yeah.
honestly, being that Robert Englund is saying that he's too old, or he thinks that he's too old to play Freddy again, I think that maybe we should do like a game. It's almost like Jason would battle like all these things, and like even like their victims. Like Freddy would be playing upon their fears, and basically Freddy Krueger is like that last final round that they have to battle, so that he doesn't have to do so much action. But like, you know, he can do voiceovers. He can be like in the corner doing everything. So maybe that's a way to take it. I don't know, but yeah, I would like a Freddy vs. Jason too.
I love how Freddy versus Jason is so beloved. I feel like
I love that
wasn't
movie.
gonna like it, but a lot of people love that movie, and I'm
Because
glad,
of that
I'm glad to
movie
be a
is
part
how
of
I
it.
got grounded for the first time ever, because of that movie.
Really?
Because I've always gone to private school, and so that was during the same time. I want to say, I think Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone came out the same year, I think. And my classmates and I were supposed to go and see that movie, but I convinced them to go see Freddy. So we snuck in Freddy versus Jason.
That's
And yet they
awesome.
were traumatized. And so after that, my mom was just like, I told you don't go to this school doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, she was irritated. But yeah, like, it was a good time. So I can honestly say I witnessed it on the big screen. Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's such
so
childish,
sick.
childish like mayhem right there. Just over there, just
Exactly.
singing movies. I love that.
Yeah.
Listen,
Take me
there's
back to
some-
those. Take me back to those
That's what I'm
days.
saying.
Just sneaking in these movie theaters. I mean, hell, that could have been a
Yeah.
charge, but oh well. I'm over here living life.
Oh, well.
Well, it's funny. Like I love that movie, and I don't think it's a negative that they humanize Jason, but I don't know if it would work in anything but that. You know what I mean? Like it definitely
The only
like
person that
showed
could
the fact that
humanize
like
him was Freddy.
is Freddy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only person that is like demonic enough and like awful enough to get into Jason's head is Freddy, and like that's an interesting thought. Like honestly, one of the scenes I absolutely love, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, in the Freddy versus Jason versus Ash, like what would have been the sequel to
Yeah, I read on that. Yeah.
like what would have been the sequel to Freddy versus Jason, they were actually going to make it that at the camp when Jason drowned that year, Freddy Krueger was a child at that camp, and Freddy Krueger was the one that pushed Jason in the lake and drowned him.
Ooh.
And that was going to be like the backstory. Like that was both of their origin stories necessarily. Like, so like, and that's interesting. Like, but Freddy vs. Jason has a lot of really cool things in it. Like Jason in the cornfield when he's on fire.
Iconic.
Like, I come on. Like, let's be real. I mean, there's so many cool Freddy, and honestly, there's a lot of cheesy things in it too. Like, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, I think it's
It's a
hysterical.
2000 movie, man.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah. That year 2000 to be exact.
Yeah.
The funniest thing is when at the end of the movie, and I never like thought about it until it was like pointed out to me like a couple years ago, but when Freddy and Jason are fighting and like they're going at it, when Jason punches, like, and it happens like 3 or 4 times, when one of them punches the other, even when they're in the real world, like if they're in the dream world, I get it, but when they're in the real world, like Jason punches Freddy, bro, Freddy goes like 50 feet away, and I'm like,
yeah.
like what like what was that? Like, you know, it's funny. Like, dude,
I love Freddy vs. Jason. To me, I just think that like even like with the final battle when he was like carrying, like he was breaking like all the window seals and stuff with Freddy's body and stuff.
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
went outside and just slung him. I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, and like
Well-
Freddy's commentary throughout the whole fight,
yeah.
iconic.
You listen. You might have to. You might just solidify yourself as when we do Freddy versus Jason on Purely and Simply Evil. You may join us for that.
There you go.
That might be a good one. Well, I even love the scene like when Freddy, because they really dive into like the pervy, like weird nature of
Aspect
Freddy in
of-
that
of
one
Freddy.
too. Like
Yeah.
I think we kind of danced around it for a long time, but Freddy versus Jason and the remake too, it was like, oh, it was like, okay, we went like
Yeah.
we're gonna go there now. But like when he's in the dream world and he's got, I forget what the lead's name is. Do you remember, what's her name? Is it not Kirsten?
Is it
Kira? Kira or something like that? Kia. No.
No,
Huh.
Kia was Kelly Rowland, I think.
Yeah,
That
I
was
gotta look
Kelly
it up.
Rowland.
I gotta look it up.
Can we admit
Laurie.
that she wasn't a good?
Laurie.
The irony.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Laurie.
Oh, the irony.
Yeah, but I love the scene when he's got her in the dream world and he's like rubbing the glove up her dress between her legs, and it's
Yeah.
like right before he like gets there, he says, "Welcome to my world, bitch," and then she wakes up and grabs him and pulls him out, and like he like Freddy's like lifting the dress up, and then he like looks up. And it's like you can tell he's scared, and like he turns around, and
Yeah,
Jason's
he's
like
like
Jason's
this.
just walking towards him or whatever, and it's like the first time that you see Freddy and Jason actually about to like go toe to toe
Battle it
in the
out.
real world, you're like, oh, like here we go,
yeah.
like this is gonna be it. So I don't know, that was a fun one, man. That's
it
such a
did,
fun
man.
flick. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Miguel, any final thoughts on what you would like to see from a Friday the 13th reboot, sequel, remake, whatever?
I generally think that like if they can't figure out the whole lawsuit thing, I think that they definitely just split off and do like JT said, just make it Jason Voorhees movie itself. Like I guess just get rid of the whole Friday the 13th notion, because again, we don't particularly care for Pamela all that much.
Yeah.
Right.
It's Jason all the way. So I mean, just throw all your money in that, and we're all gonna want to watch it. It doesn't matter. Like say, for instance, if we just had like a Michael Myers movie and not it be Halloween, like I feel like people will still want to watch it because hell, we got who we want. We get the iconic Michael Myers putting on the infamous mask. Like we get that. We get all of that. So if the lawsuit doesn't come to some sort of agreement, boy, you might as well throw all that money into just
pack it
a whole
up.
Jason Voorhees. Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. I'm gonna just tweet this link out one more time. By the way,
You
guys,
cracked me up with the whole Freddy vs. Jason 2 sequel. I'm 100%
that's
for
awesome.
it, man. Yeah.
I'm with it.
Sorry. But yeah, man, so let's switch gears a little bit. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us, 11 of you in the chat. Almost an hour and a half in. So we're going to switch gears to our final and our biggest topic of the night, which is... We're going to talk some Halloween. So if you have Halloween questions, if you want to talk Halloween, if you want to show off your Halloween underwear, I don't care. Throw it in the chat right now.
Well,
Golly.
I'm kidding.
Pause.
So let's do this. JT, we haven't really gotten a chance to talk to you in person, like face-to-face, about Halloween Kills. So now that, like you said before, it's kind of poetic that we're having you on, like, almost a year to the date after Halloween Kills released. So, have your thoughts on Halloween Kills changed in the last year? Kind of what are your thoughts now? The Oct is right. 37 days until Halloween. 37 days.
That's crazy.
Until
I just tweeted someone. I want to say yesterday or day before yesterday. I was just like, you remember at a time we were saying it was like 100 and something days, or the day we just knew we were getting a sequel, but they haven't started filming, but yet now we're like almost less than a month away. That's crazy.
I remember the day that I was in, like, I was driving, and I got I got a Twitter notification, and I looked at my phone, and it said Halloween movie posted for the first time in a while, and I was like, and like I actually pulled in a parking spot, and I remember when it was like the video of the house, and it was the shape hunts Alice and the booby dooby 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 doo, and it said the saga between Michael Myers and Laurie Strode and over, and like on October whatever Halloween Kills, and then October whatever Halloween ends, and everybody's sitting there looking at their phone like, you know what I mean, like freaking out.
I'm not gonna lie to you, to be honest. I was actually mad initially when I got that
Really?
notification. I was pissed. Because, when I went to the movies to go see this, like, for one, I was already at a bad time in my life anyway. Mm-hmm. But, like, when I went to the movies to go see it, I was just like, they honestly brought, like, because I was working at a child facility for, like, troubled youth. It's like the step right before they go to prison. So I was working at somewhere already where someone like a young Michael Myers would be. So I remember when the trailer dropped for 2018, I went into like the bathroom and it was pitch black dark, and I watched it. And I actually remember like screaming at the scene where at the end of the trailer when he's in the closet and he sliced
Yeah.
Vicky and stuff. I actually screamed on that. So when I actually saw the movie, I was just like, I cannot believe they actually made a good, solid sequel to this movie.
Yeah.
And so the fact that at the end, the last time I saw Michael, he's looking up at Laurie and him with the basement on fire and stuff. I was like, this is like the perfect conclusion. And
Yeah.
so I remember like a few months later, I get the notification, and I was just like, not even just another one, but two. Now I'm sitting up here just like a whole advocate.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like because I think what gets me, and I know we're gonna get to Halloween Kills, is that honestly, this is the best. And the reason I say I prefer this over any of the other timelines is because I'm a person that's big on storytelling. And we
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
Jamie Lee Curtis, she has definitely pushed this whole thing about trauma.
Trauma. This trilogy's about trauma.
Trauma.
Generational
But however,
trauma.
exactly. But to me, though, I feel like and a lot of people would disagree, but I honestly feel like taking out that aspect of the sibling thing has made it better for me because, like, to
I
me,
agree.
now is no motive, and now to me, I love the mob mentality. Like, to me, everything, the story, it adds up. I'm curious to see what this Corey Cunningham story is gonna go or whatever, but for the most part, I have my tweaks in my critiques about like the dialogue in Kills, but for the most part, it honestly was everything I actually thought it was going to be. Honestly,
Yeah.
like
I agree,
the only
yeah.
thing, the only thing I kind of wish is that I didn't see so much of the depth in the trailer. But other than that, it was literally everything. And honestly, my friends can attest to this. Like when I found out it was going to be another one, I said Karen has to die, in one of them because to me, Laurie needs a motive.
Yeah.
It can't be just keep being you attacked me in '78. Like we need a solidified motive. And to me, in these movies, Allison, she does not die. Like she's young, she's a teen, and these things is what gravitate the main audience. So it couldn't be her. It had to be Karen. It couldn't be Laurie.
Watch Allison's death be the opening scene of Halloween Ends.
Bro, like imagine the curveball. I said that before. Not like Allison's gonna die. I said watch Allison be in like 3% of the movie, and it's just gonna be all about Laurie and Michael. I 100% believe that she went off to college.
If
and she
Allison
went to go do
died
her own thing.
in the first 10 minutes, everybody would be like,
But the thing about it is, though, is that from the synopsis, it says that they're living together, right?
Yeah,
it
they're
says
living
that
together. I
Allison
think.
and
Well,
Laurie's living
I,
together. Yeah.
I think Laurie is living with Allison. Like, I think that's Allison's house, and Laurie is living with her. So,
I'm about to
Hold
say, yeah.
up.
She.
Hold up.
I mean,
18 to 9. Because she had to be like 17, 18 in 2018
Yeah.
and killed. So
yep,
let's just say 17. 18, 19, 20. You're just 21. Like,
yep.
you got a house and, well, the mom died. So the
I mean,
insurance
yeah,
money probably
she
kicked
just
in.
lost her entire
That
family.
insurance
So I mean,
money-
that life
yeah,
insurance
that is-
policy is
that life
pretty thick.
insurance-
That check's pretty high. So.
Yeah.
oh
Never
man,
mind. I can see it. I can see it.
I
Never
don't,
mind.
I don't know.
That's more than that $5,000 that Lori gave her in 2018.
Facts. Now I have a question about something. Go ahead, though, bro.
Real quick, I kind of haven't thought about it this before, and this kind of dawned on me. Like, I keep saying that at the end of it, I think I still stick to this, and I know I'm kind of in the minority on this. I think that Laurie and Michael should both die. I think the only way. Listen, I think the only. I know that was the reaction I've gotten from like everybody. Here's why though. I feel like. How do you do something, A, that we haven't done before, B, that is a justice to not only this trilogy, but to the franchise, and to the legacy of Jamie Lee, not just the legacy of Laurie Strode, but the legacy of Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. And I feel like, looking back on it, this is the thing that I haven't really thought about before. Like, when Halloween 18 first ended, like, I remember... Like my dad is the one who got me into horror, and like since he's gotten my mom into Halloween, and there's something about Halloween I think that's just like I don't know, it's more appealing than so many other horror franchises. I don't know what it is, Even my wife, who's not really a big horror fan other than like the Stephen King stuff, like she's into Halloween now. But she hated Halloween Kills, by the way. She could not. She thought she thinks 18 is great. She hated Kills. She thought it was awful. But I don't know. Anyways,
I bet she changed her mind at the end. I bet.
well,
I believe
Because
it, yeah.
the story will be told then.
we actually rewatched it like a couple weeks ago, and she was like, "It's not quite as bad as I thought it was." And I kind of thought the same
Backtrack.
thing. But
Backtrack
that
that
goes to what
statement.
that kind of goes to what I was saying. Like, I think I want both of them to die, but like at the end of 2018, I remember where I was sitting in the theater, and I was with my parents because they went with me to go see it. And like, my dad liked it, and I'm sitting there, and like when the credits started rolling and like we leave Michael burning in the basement, I was like I kind of feel disappointed. I was like he died? Like, really? I was kind of disappointed inside. But the more and more I've watched 2018, the more and more I've appreciated it, and the more and more I've started to watch Kills, the more and more I've appreciated it. So I don't know, like, maybe there really is. My theory is that I think they kind of had an idea for where they wanted this to go if they could do a trilogy, and that's why 2018 had the original ending that was scrapped, that I think had the two of them both going off and dying like alone or something, like out in the woods.
Michael was by a tree. And
Yeah.
Laurie stab wounds a lot worse than
Miguel, I don't know
we saw.
if you even knew that, but the original ending of Halloween 2018, before they rewrote it, was I think Laurie shoots Michael, and Michael stabs Laurie like in their final fight, and they both like go separate ways. And Michael like slumps down by a tree or something and dies, and then Laurie is off in the woods and she dies. So it's like,
But I think they said the person who had the final blow with Michael was Karen because she shoots him with a bow and arrow.
oh yeah.
But that
Karen
whole
with a
thing
bow and
that-
arrow? Get the fuck out of here.
Yes, that's what I said. I said, but that tested very poor. With
I am not surprised by
audiences.
that.
That's what I said too. So,
Yeah.
but I still want to see it though. I just want to see it because.
Mhm.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. So I'm hoping that Ends is going to be let's talk about Kills. My issue with Kills was that I in my head, like seeing the trailer, seeing everybody scream "Evil Dies Tonight," like rocking the ambulance and like this whole crowd of people, like I was like, dude, this is going to be like the Avengers Infinity War of this franchise. Like it's going to be like everybody is just like I'm done. Like we're all going to go after him. And it kind of let me down a little bit. Like I felt like the mob stuff, like the mob just seemed like people like loose, like out of an insane asylum. Like nobody really was like with the program. Some of the dialogue is my biggest issue with the film. Like
Yeah.
some of I love Anthony Michael Hall, and I think he was a great choice to play Tommy. But some of the things that Anthony Michael Hall says in that film, I'm just like, what? Where, like when he's holding old Huckleberry, like after Tivoli like drives the car away from Mick's bar, when he's sitting there and he's like, I forget exactly what he says. He's like, we're gonna go find old Michael here, and I'm gonna hit him with a Huckle, and I'm just like, what? What are you talking about, dude? Like this is supposed to be like uber serious and hardcore, and it was kind of like almost a little bit more. It was a little bit more silly. Like we were in a packed theater. My parents were with me. My wife was with me. Miguel was with me. And we were all sitting there. And my wife actually said it when it was the point where Vanessa, like when Michael swings the car door open and she shoots herself. And my wife was like, she said, "Is this supposed to be satire?" And I said, "I don't think so." Like I was like, "I don't think so. I thought it was going to be like more serious than this." So I don't know. I've kind of chalked it up in my head to like, you know what? Kills was just supposed to be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
You know
and
what?
like
I think,
that's kind of where I'm at,
Yeah, I think that for me with Kills, I think because I remember I think I probably would have been underwhelmed had I not seen this interview with David Gordon Green, and he was just like, "This is a middle chapter." He said a lot of things won't make sense. He said it's honestly just a bunch of just chaos. He says chaotic from the beginning to the end.
Yeah.
And so to
Lived
me,
up to it, yeah.
I will say this though. I do feel like my friends that I went with felt the same way. They were just like, it's good, but for one, they got tired of hearing "Evil Dies Tonight." That's one.
It was too much.
Two, yeah, to me, I feel like we spent too much time in the hospital. Personally,
Yeah,
that's
I
one
agree with
thing.
that.
Yeah, we spent a lot of time in the hospital,
I agree.
and I feel like Laurie, although I get it, like if she would have been out there, like if it honestly still would have taken place on the same night and she survived, then I would have been like, there's no way, because literally somebody ran into her in the hallway and she pretty much died in the hallway just from like her stitches, you
They
know?
had to go
And
bandage her
like,
back up.
yeah, so to me, but like I feel like like with 2018 and then going into Kills, I feel like the average person who went to go see Kills did not even realize that all this was the same night. So a lot of people are thinking like, because I know I remember I saw a post when Kills when they were starting doing like the promotions and stuff. Someone was just like, if she don't kill him in this movie, I'm about to step in. I'm about to step in.
You need to
But
call in the
like,
Army, the National Guard. You got
yeah,
to get somebody in there.
yeah.
Like,
But to me, I just feel like we spent so much time with like the patient, and I get it because I know. I think the point they were trying to make is that when you have a mob and you have no, direction and stuff like
mhm,
that, like anger takes over everyone, and then we
yeah.
then become the monsters and all this kind of
Hmm.
stuff. But for me, I feel like that message personally was not even necessary in this movie because,
I agree.
yeah, because I feel like the Myers house, a lot of legacy characters were hella underused. Like
Yes.
you killed pretty much all the legacy characters in one scene in the car.
Hmm.
Like Lindsay Wallace. I mean, thank God for her scenes, but her scenes felt choppy because she got beat the hell up, and to us, we just saw her run.
I
That's
will
it.
say, honestly, out of the legacy characters, Lindsay was ironically my favorite. I thought her, like,
Yeah,
all of her dialogue was serious. Like, it wasn't like she didn't over deliver her lines. Like,
right.
it's funny because she's the one who's on like reality TV. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She's the one who has, and again, nothing against Kyle Richards at all, but she's the one who hasn't had the most serious acting career of most of
yeah,
them. So it's like,
Hmm.
it's funny that like I gravitated towards her scenes. Like it felt serious, it felt in line with like the tone of the rest of the movie. Like
yeah,
I found it hard to take it seriously when Vanessa shoots herself, or when Anthony Michael Hall was jumping over chairs screaming "Evil dies tonight," and it's just like
yeah,
how did we get here? You know what I mean?
yeah.
It was strange. Even the payback scene, like at the end of it, I was like, it was the way it was shot. It was strange. They made some.
Right,
It was different than I expected it to be, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think, like I said,
right.
I had such high expectations, and like I had such an idea in my head of what I wanted to see. When that didn't happen, I was kind of like, oh. And I think I was like, am I disappointed? Am I okay with it? Like, I don't.
Hmm.
What I would have liked, and Miguel, I know I feel like I'm gonna let you talk in just a minute. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, man. I
But
got some
like,
thoughts too on it. So yeah.
what I wanted to see, and this kind of goes back to like, I don't know that I have no problem with social commentary. I have no problem with the trauma thing. I have no problem with any of that. But I felt like they were pushing this chaos thing, and that's fine. But I kind of thought for the first third of the movie, the mob would just be kind of useless. Like you could still do the Tivoli thing, like where he accidentally dies. Like you could
Yeah,
still like they're a mess, and like like Barker's a mess. Which we have a story about Sheriff Barker. It was one of the funniest things that's ever happened to us,
when I tell you I hate him,
involving Miguel.
I hated him too, man. I
I
fucking
hate
hated his
him.
guts.
I
Listen,
literally just told my coworker today. I said, if one person needs to die in the new one, kill him.
Yeah, bro. Doug Dimmadome needs to take a fucking L right now. I swear,
Yeah.
he's by far one of the worst that I've seen over there. There was I'll let Brad tell the story because it was much better delivered by him. But like, we went to go see it in Lexington, and like during that entire scene after the end of the whole mob thing, Brad, take it away because I swear I
Well,
was done with Sheriff
okay.
Barker.
Listen, so at the scene where after Tivoli dies, when the mob kind of disperses at the hospital, and Barker, like his hat is like he picks up his hat or whatever, and
Ah,
he sits on the stairs, and he's just like, we're in a packed theater, JT. It was one of the like everybody cracked up. We're sitting there in the theater, and as soon as Barker sits down, Miguel out loud, like basically yelling, he goes, he ain't getting reelected, and the entire theater goes. The entire theater was like, Like, they all stood up and looked at us, and the entire theater started laughing. And I was like, it was the funny. He said he ain't getting reelected. It was
because
so funny.
He made so many wrong decisions from 2018 to Kills.
Indeed.
He was like,
Yes.
he was like,
so
he was like,
funny.
Michael Myers may be out. You can't cancel Halloween, bro. You could cancel that shit like that. I don't understand if you're talking about Thanksgiving, but Halloween, cancel that
Right.
shit, man. Man,
Yeah,
fuck them kids. Send them home. Give them candy or some shit like that. But like, you could have canceled Halloween. But yeah, Sheriff Barker, man, I hope he gets. He's gonna end up being like the biggest foil next to Michael Myers in Ends. I could tell you that because you know what? I think in Ends, he's gonna be the one playing damage control throughout the entire fucking movie.
Yeah.
It has to, yeah.
And he giving the impression that he's one of the people that's going to try to blame all this on Laurie too.
That's what I was gonna say. Yep.
Yeah.
That's why. That's where it's all gonna happen. Like it's literally gonna be the fact that like, I feel like during Ends, Sheriff Barker's gonna play damage control. He's gonna blame all this on Laurie. He's gonna say Michael Myers was never here. He was never involved in the whole massacre. It was all this Trivoli guy that unfortunately died. And the people that died in that street that Michael actually killed, they're gonna say that was Trivoli or some shit like that. It's gonna be some whole like thing where Sheriff Barker's gonna play crowd control and we're gonna hate his guts even more. And for some reason, out of nowhere, I don't know how it's gonna happen, he's gonna get reelected. I don't fucking know. It's gonna happen because the script allows it. So,
well, like even going back to the kills thing, like I kind of thought that for the first third of the movie, the mob would just be utterly useless. Like they suck. No, but they're not organized. Like it's just people acting out of like just randomness, and acting out of anger. I thought at the hospital there would be a moment, like, could you imagine if there was a moment like where Laurie and Hawkins are sitting there talking and she hears the crowd chant, like Tommy is the catalyst, like Tommy gets them motivated. Tommy is like, here's what we got to do, like we got to go after him, we got to be united. If Laurie heard them chanting "Evil Dies Tonight" from the parking lot, and Laurie went out there, and there was that like Braveheart moment of like, we're gonna get him, like this is it, and that's when everybody's like rocking the ambulance and chanting "Evil Dies Tonight," and then the Miguel said this, and it's the truest thing that I've ever heard anybody say about this. The scary thing about that idea is like when you have you do have an organized group of people. Like, if the mob would have gotten organized and then went after Michael, the scary thing is when you have Michael, even though they're organized, still annihilate every single one of them. Mm-hmm. I think that would have been scarier and more effective than what they ended up doing in Kills.
That's pretty much what I was trying to, like, that was, like, my idea in regards to how this movie could have been way better, was the fact that, like, the mob scene in and of itself was not utilized well whatsoever, because it was primarily just in the hospital for the entirety of the movie. Like the mob never, they went outside, probably in the parking lot, just to shake the fucking ambulance a little bit.
Yeah,
I would have much rather it be like Michael versus the mob throughout the entire fucking movie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like showcase the entire town. Let the mob battle. Let like little sections of the mob like take on Michael, and they continuously, like, each section gets killed by Michael over and over, and you can feel like the fear of the mob just like coming over them, like oh shit, maybe we really can't take Michael, maybe, like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And then you get that final moment with like Anthony Michael Hall and all them, like in that final battle scene or whatever, and then you could just see their fear continually like drain them from their like mob mentality, and just gives Michael much more of a force of nature than it just be, just Michael just watching these people trip over themselves, because that's pretty much what this mob was just them tripping over themselves and not really being able to take on Michael. Because
Tommy was not a good leader
not at all.
Killed.
He had everybody die in that fucking movie. And that last group was with Allison and all of them. Like, that entire scene right there of Michael just slowly like killing every single one of them. Like, if you would have had that through the entire movie, and that happened to every single faction of the mob, this movie would have been far more scarier of just like little sections slowly getting picked off one by one. It hits on Michael's trope of him being like a fucking track star when he can go through different different areas in a scene, him stalking, him walking through the back of of houses with the lights dimmed off. We got that one scene of Michael walking through the fucking yard. That was just one scene. We only got one of those. How dope would it be if we got that him just swerving through different houses and him just still picking people off one by one? Like this is Michael's buffet. Like it made Michael like this is Michael's like dream. Just like you're all coming out here. Like great, this is awesome. Come to my land. What's up? I'm about that life. But we didn't get that. I would have much rather have Michael come to the hospital and keep picking off the mob. That would have been more scary. Like power cuts off in the hospital, and Laurie is just hiding in the fucking room with Hawkins, and he's just taking on the entire mob for that matter. Like that'd been even way dope. Give us like a Rob Zombie 2 like hospital massacre. Like there are so many different ways you could have used the mob to make this movie much more impactful and scarier.
I agree.
But I mean, at the same time, I get. Go ahead.
By them, because originally, like we all know, like it was all supposed. 2018 Kills and Ends was supposed to have been all one night, and I think they had an initial plan, but obviously the fact that Kills was already made, and then the pandemic hit, and so we had to take a year, and they thought about another idea, because I think that things would have been even more effective, had they went with their original plan and everything was all in one night. I feel like we would have seen more, because you couldn't just stop the mob in the third one if it's all in one night, So I feel like all that would have crossed over into ends, into ends. But this 4-year time jump, I don't know, man. A part of me is kind of like, okay, cool, we get to see a new side of Lord, but then again, I'm just like, where are we gonna go? Are we
exactly?
Like, I want to see, because I don't know. I know one thing. I don't want to see Allison be like another Laurie, like panic, frantic, just shooken up, just don't know what to do. I don't want to see that, because we seen Laurie in that in 2018. But at the same time, I want, because we never saw their reaction to, what I'm saying, like finding out that Karen is dead. Like, I want to know what was that like when you found out? He died at the hands of this person that we have been trying to prevent all this time. Right. So it's so many questions, and I'm not gonna. The time jump, it has me nervous. I'm not gonna lie, it has me nervous.
It did. It's same for me. I think that the time jump, that move of doing the time jump, really did cheapen the mob. I would say it definitely would. I feel like they had that plan of the 4-year time jump after the movie was made, and I think they had to cut out a lot of things about the mob, and it just cheapened the whole thing out, honestly. Because if you would have had the mob continue over to Halloween Ends, that would have made the mob much more of a... Because you got to think, the mob itself is a character. Like, it has to be its own character. Like, it has to have its own development, and it has to have it go through its own journey throughout this trilogy. But it ended up just being like a side joke, honestly, in my eyes. It was just like, oh, they're there just to fucking yell at people and all that stuff. And even when they try to do the commentary of the mob mentality, it didn't hit the mark, because they knew that the time jump was going to happen or some shit like that. So, the 4-year time jump, I'm a little hesitant as well, because it's like, bro, you just had an entire fucking massacre at that town, and then 4 years later, what's going to happen? The only thing I can think of is Sheriff Barker doing damage control. There's nothing else I can think of.
We do not like him. We do not like him
whatsoever.
I think I've said this before, but like, I think Halloween Kills would have really, really benefited from being even another 10 or 15 minutes long. Like, just a chance to flesh out a couple of those things, especially with the mob and with our, with our characters. Because I've watched that extended cut version. It's like 4 minutes long. Like, it's not like, it's not really it's like 3 or 4 minutes longer. But, like, I feel like if you would have taken a little bit more time to even flesh that out a little bit, it wouldn't have been quite as bad. But there was something that just didn't feel...
complete.
It just didn't.
Complete.
It didn't hit the way that the mob thing, and that's really what I mean. The stuff with Michael was great. I mean, Michael was as good as we've ever
But
had.
yeah, but like
Michael
they say, you know,
in it,
like
you know.
this was definitely his movie though. This
Oh
was
yeah, for sure.
definitely
Yeah.
his movie.
Yeah.
Like he
100%.
demanded.
I believe that 100%. He was like Thanos in Infinity War. Like that movie's all about him.
Facts. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was Thanos. He was
The Avengers
definitely
were just
Thanos
side
in that
characters
movie.
at that point in that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I my hope is that, and you know, like I said, Kills made me appreciate 2018 more. And the more and more I've gone back and watched Kills, the more and more I've appreciated it. I'm hoping that when I see Ends, it's going to be like, oh, okay. Like, you did it. Like, I got to hand it to you, you did it. It's not perfect, but you did it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my hope. So real quick, while we're on the topic of Halloween Kills, let's go over to the chat, see what you guys are saying. You guys are moving. Almost 2 hours in. JT, you're not pressed for time, are you?
I'm here with y'all. I'm straight. We're good.
Sweet, just
We're
making sure.
good. We're good.
So the Oct says, I heard Halloween Ends is supposed to be over 2 hours long. Does that affect your expectations? I don't think so. I think it actually makes me
As
a little
long
bit
as
more
it's
hype.
good storytelling, personally.
Yep. Yeah.
yeah.
As long as it's good storytelling.
Don't flesh out so many like useless expositions
Yeah.
and stuff
Exactly.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can have storytelling, but if it's like too saturated, yeah, you're gonna have me walk. You're gonna have me
Yeah,
going to
you
take a
gotta
piss
hurry up.
break. Yeah,
Yeah. you
I
gotta hurry up.
think, I don't remember exactly, this is probably incorrect, the exact number, but I believe the runtime that I heard was like an hour and 56 minutes long. Like really running on 2 hours,
Yeah.
like pretty long.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Have you, let me ask you this. I know did you dive into spoilers for Halloween Kills, JT?
Mm-mm.
Okay, I'm somebody, like, I've really been like, other than the obvious things like Corey, like, that's not a spoiler at this point, you know what I mean? Like, that's out there, everybody in this community knows. But like, I've really tried to stay, like, I don't want to know anything about how it ends until it ends, like, until
Like,
I
even
am
when
sitting
the,
in a seat with a large
Right.
popcorn and a Coke. Like, that's when I want to know how it ends.
Yeah, like even like with the soundtrack, I didn't even look into the soundtrack, anything. Like I know like 3 people like DM'd it to me on Instagram and stuff, and I just was not invested. Like I don't want any spoilers at all. I don't want to know the track listings, nothing.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I just steering clear.
I did listen to it a little bit, but I mean, luckily nothing. I actually, like, I saw the track listing and I was like, nope. I was like, I'm
Yep.
scrolling past that.
Yep.
I've actually reported there was an account a while ago. I've actually, like, I reported a couple of accounts for like posting.
Oh yeah, I'm
spoilers.
a Karen when it comes down to
Yeah.
Halloween. Yeah. I'm a Karen.
when it
Well,
comes to
and
spoilers,
I
we're
report.
Karens.
Yeah,
That's not something
yeah.
I would usually do. Like with the Marvel is just a different animal though, because it's like there's so much out there. It's like, okay, is this really a spoiler or is this just a rumor? Because everybody's got room, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know what's what. But this, I've been like, oh, you're starting to, you're getting a
you're
little
reaching that
too.
territory.
We're
Yep.
flying a little too close to the sun here.
Yep.
Jaded says, after reading what I think is the final script, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. No spoilers, but I like the main plot twist. Dude, you've read the script, huh?
Jeez.
You're a braver man than I am.
You
I can't
bold.
do it.
Yeah,
I
you
can't.
bold, bro.
You know, the first time, if it is true, the first time I want to see that story is like, it's on the screen. You know what I mean? I want to see it on the screen with other people. So, Max Reed, what's going on, man? Dude, your profile picture is sick. That
That's the
Halloween 2 logo.
That's
Yeah.
the Fright Rack design.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
Max says, Ends is either going to make people really appreciate Kills in 18 or it's going to be too experimental and lose the audience. I agree with that. I do.
It's good question right there.
I think that's a
Is
very
it gonna
good
ruin? Is it gonna ruin? Is it gonna
statement.
be too experimental?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
And another question is, how experimental is too experimental? Like, you know what I mean? Do you play it close to the chest, or do you do something new that people aren't going to expect?
I mean, they said one of the main inspirations of this movie to want to make sure it was not too Christine.
Christine, yeah.
Which is a really good movie. I love Christine. It just
Mhm.
left Netflix like a couple of days ago. The only thing I can see with the Christine part is probably going towards the Corey character.
Yeah,
I
with like
think.
the obsession about something.
Yeah,
like if he's
that's the
obsessed
only
about
thing
Michael.
I'm thinking about.
Although I just think it's weird, like, is it gonna be like a fascination kind of thing, or is it going to be like a, because like that can get really weird really quickly. Like I don't want to
Yeah.
see Corey find Michael in the sewer or something and be like,
Yeah.
my lord, like, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to see that
I'm
kind
not
of thing.
gonna
Like
like
that's
that.
like because I'm just
Yeah.
like, that's kind of weird. I don't like that. So I don't know. I'm okay with the honestly, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm okay with Corey being a copycat killer if
I'm not.
Michael mops the floor with him at some
Yeah.
point in this movie. Like, Corey better not survive the end of this movie. I'm just saying.
I highly
I
doubt it.
don't. Yeah,
Like,
I don't think he'll survive. But I really don't
Yeah.
want him to be a copycat killer because at that point I'm watching Scream, and for one, I'm not particularly a good fan of Scream. So it's like, I don't want there to be a copycat killer because then like we're gonna go down that rabbit hole or whatnot. There's gonna be sequels of copycat killers.
But I
yeah.
guess like to me, the only reason I'm kind of just like I'm like 50-50 with it is because we need something to bring Michael back. We have to have something, and honestly, I can't think personally, like at least not right now at the bat, like a good reason to bring him back. Like because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to see Laurie go out there finding him. I don't want to see Allison out here finding. Like we've seen this already, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
I don't want anyone to like like physically bring him to Laurie and Allison because Dr. Sartain
We've
did that.
we've already
We've
done that.
seen that. So to me, I feel like this is a creative way, and the fact we still get a Michael Myers esque, for the time being until the actual Michael shows up or whatever. Like I think I'm okay with that, because like to me, again, it's all about storytelling with me, and I feel like if you try any of those other options, it just wouldn't have worked because it feel like we're basically
Yeah.
rewatching one of the past two movies.
Yep.
So
I
so,
agree.
yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird double-edged sword because one of the biggest questions. I actually had an idea to do a video about this, about my biggest questions going into Ends. But like one of my biggest questions, and I think Halloween Ends actually said this. I'm more curious to see where Halloween Ends starts off at. There's a big gray area here of where does Halloween Kills end and where does Halloween Ends begin. Because
I
I
have a
don't
theory.
see, like, we spent this entire film in Kills
Sorry,
not
that was
doing
my
that.
phone. Yeah.
I don't know what that was. Miguel's getting some Evil Dead going on in here. But, like, we spent the entire movie, like, Michael's entire goal was to just go home.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad if you think about it. All these people trying to kill him, he just wants to go home.
Yeah. Oh well.
But, like, I don't see him, like, if cops and SWAT team and stuff is rolling up to his house, I don't see him just be like, I don't see him wanting to leave. Like, oh, I got to get out of here. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah.
feel like that would be kind of like, but you just got here. Like, you just killed all of these people trying to get home. And like, now you see other cops pull up and you're like, you know what I mean?
To be
Like, that's
honest,
strange.
notice-
yeah.
So, like, how does he end up away from Haddonfield off in the sewers or wherever he is? You know what I mean? Like, that's a big question I have.
I feel
Yeah,
like
because
Go ahead, Miguel. I'm
sorry, I was gonna say because they pretty much just like destroyed like two big theories in this franchise so far in this new trilogy was the fact that was this a big like go after battle between Laurie and Michael, like that was killed, that theory was destroyed with Hawkins when he said like it's not you, Laurie, it was Sartain that put you guys together, and it just so happens it ended up like that. And then now with between who are the two gay couples, I forgot what they were called.
Big
Big
John
John
and
and
Little
Little John.
Big John and Little John, yeah. Then when they were saying like, well, Michael, you come home, like that's what his goal was. He wants to come home. But then guess what? 4-year time jump, he's not in his home. The house is destroyed. So it's like that wasn't the main motive. So like, where do you go there? What's the new motive that they're gonna try to push through this other movie? So like, I don't know. Like what's the next motive that we have for Michael at this point? Obviously, other than the fucking copycat killer. Like, I'm okay with the copycat killer, but like, I feel like we're delving into different franchises at that point. So
Yeah, I agree, man. Something we haven't even like got. Again, there's loads to talk about with Halloween, but something we haven't gotten to is we got the poster drop, like the new poster. Listen, I like this poster 10,000 times better than I like the other poster. I almost bought the poster that you have behind you, JT, and I was like, I'm going to wait and see if they drop something better, because I bought the
Yeah.
Kills poster, which I like the Kills poster, but the one of him walking through the fire with the knife that says, like, see it in Dolby Digital or whatever, I was like,
Oh, yeah, I
dang
have
it.
that one.
I was
Yeah,
like,
they
I
seem-
wish I would
yeah.
have bought that one. And then looking at, like, when this poster came out, I was like, I'm going to wait and I'm going to see if I can get this one, because I really dig this one. So I'm going to try and find that one.
I was about to say, I'm
Um,
waiting it out because Universal, they sent me this one. And they sent me the Kills one last year. And then they also sent me the Dolby AMC one as well, too.
Nice.
That's
But
awesome.
yeah, but I think I'm with you. Like, hopefully I get the one with him and Laurie by the time October kicks in, because
Yeah.
yeah, that's a badass poster. A lot of people like was hating on it though. To be honest, they felt like it was
Well,
like the good
On the
cop, bad
poster?
cop. Yeah,
It seems
I-
a little
I
bit
dig it.
clip-arty, I'll be honest, but I like it, yeah.
I dig it. I think it looks good. I think
Bro, Michael Myers has some big meaty claws. Bro, them
that's
hands,
what I was
what
looking
the
at.
fuck? I was like, yo.
it does look
I
like
mean,
he has
props to
big
him.
hands,
The
doesn't it?
mask, it looks more greenish. Now,
Yeah.
too.
Well, and
Yeah.
honestly, like I'm excited, dude. I like my thing. I collect the masks. Like I know, like you're big into the T-shirts, and like I get the T-shirts too. I ordered 2 of my Halloween shirts. We'll talk about that in a minute. But like I want that mask drop, and I'm not one of those people that's super like a lot of people, like they'll buy a mask from Trick or Treat Studios, and they're like, it's great, but the paint job sucks. I gotta rehaul it. I'm like, I don't need to rehaul it. Like, it looks good. Like the
Yeah,
Kills
like, calm
mask.
down.
Like I have the Kills mask over here. Like I'm happy with my Kills mask. I think it looks dope.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm
But
too scared
I've
to collect
heard-
masks, man.
Really.
I'm too
I've heard
scared.
here like.
can't do the mask?
Hang on a minute.
No,
Ooh,
I figured.
boy.
I figured you
It-
can't do the mask.
Ooh, I can't do that.
Yeah.
He
Then you got
waking
this
up
guy
looking
over
at all
here.
those looking at me? He combed the hair.
Yeah.
I'm so convinced.
Yeah.
I'm convinced. He combed the hair. I'm convinced.
Yep. The reason why he's taking forever because he was combing that hair. Believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard that you did.
What you
No,
got
I
for
don't.
it?
Yeah, man.
Woo! Yeah. I cannot
That right
imagine
there.
waking up
You
seeing
see
I
that?
dig
You
it.
see that in the corner of a dark room? Yeah, you're freaking
That's
the
what
fuck
I'm
out, man.
saying. Yeah.
I dig it.
pass out. It's really
I love
good,
it, man. Even the hair,
The
like
new-
that. Like they did a
Yeah.
really good job, like with the burnt hair effect and stuff, and
hmm I mean, I'm not gonna lie. The Halloween Kills mask, the Halloween Ends mask, might be more tattered up because you know how you still have like half the face is still like kind of intact. Man,
Yeah.
I swear this one's gonna be so dark and grimy. Like I feel bad for whoever wants to wear that shit.
It looks like it's
running around
two-toned
Halloween.
almost. It looks
Yeah.
like almost
hmm
two-toned.
well, and I think, God, we have a spammer. Whatever, go away. Yeah, we had a fingering myself between my legs spammer. Whatever, shut up.
Okay.
But anyways, like I've heard that, and I saw this somewhere. It might have been on Twitter, but somebody had said the Trick or Treat Studios Ends mask, because it's moldy and the way they designed it, like you're not gonna be able to like rehaul it super easily. Like you can't just paint over top
Oh,
of
yeah, I
it.
did hear some. Yeah.
So I don't know which. So if the mask is going to be moldy, I mean, it makes sense for it to be green and grimy and gross because I mean, A, it's been through a fire. B, it's been wet. B, it's been on his sweaty ass face this whole time. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Imagine the
it's
inside
good.
of that mask.
Ugh.
Oh my
Nice.
god,
Ugh.
musty.
I bet he.
Musty, as I
Listen,
say.
look at his hands. He doesn't wipe. Like he doesn't wash his hands after he wipes. Like, let's be real.
Yeah, clearly.
I
Like-
thought you were
like-
gonna
That
say
is
he doesn't
okay.
wipe. I was like, that's probably true
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, I was about to
All
say,
of the
that
above.
Looks medical. That looks medical.
Loomis
Yeah.
wiped for him when he was in the hospital, but he can't do it anymore. So.
Yeah, that's
But
disgusting.
we also got the Fangoria cover, which is pretty sick too.
I ordered that.
Yeah, I'm gonna order mine
Yeah.
pretty soon. I think it's the first time, ironically, that Jamie Lee Curtis has ever been on the cover of a Fangoria issue, which is kind of strange. But yeah, you can even see it on the mask in the picture there, like where it's grimy, like it's pretty gross looking.
Is it
You
me
know?
or does it like he's smiling on this picture?
I know.
A little bit, yeah. That's a
I
little
thought
bit
the
of a grin
same
right
thing.
there.
He's kind of like
Like how
It's
I
a-
have done-
it's like
I've done
like
a-
school picture. It's like,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, he does kind of look like he's smiling. He's ready. But we got the Fangoria art, couple of other things. Jamie Lee Curtis had posted this a while ago, which I thought was kind of cool. Just like the obvious parallel there between the two of them.
You think she should die, man? Please.
Listen, I'm okay. Like, honestly, I'm kind of okay with any scenario. Like, the only scenario I don't want is if you think he dies and you leave it ambiguous to where he could be alive, I'm okay with that. But I don't want Michael to just disappear into the ether at the end. Like, I don't want that, because it's like, okay, we've done this before. Or like I don't want it to be a resurrection where he's laying in a morgue and then it's suddenly like and his eyes open and then it cuts to black. Like nothing like that. I don't need that, you know? Like, we've been there, we've done that. That sucks. Speaking of the merch, dude. Oof.
That's the t-shirt. I got that t-shirt.
Oof.
I got the long sleeve.
That t-shirt looks pretty dope, man.
Oof.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks sick.
I had the 2018 and I had the Kills one. So I ordered this one, and matter of fact, just yesterday I ordered the 1978 one because I didn't have the 1978.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Well, here's the full Fright Rags lineup. I got the one in the top left that we just looked at a minute ago. And then I also got it's like if you look at the very middle on the right side where he's got like the moon behind him, like the orange moon, and the blood dripping says ends of the night, where it's kind of like this. I got that one too, just because I thought that looked pretty sick.
Which is crazy because that's like more so a picture from Kills though, which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of dug that one. Miguel, did you get a shirt?
No, I didn't get a shirt. I'll have to get one pretty soon though.
Yeah,
because I know it just dropped.
Tonight is the last night to pre-order, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Miguel, you better get it tonight then if you're going to pre-order.
Tonight or tomorrow, one of them.
Yeah, if you don't, get one today. I know this from experience. If you don't do the pre-order, like, you're not getting one. And I like seriously, I did it with I don't have a 2018 shirt. I don't have a Halloween 2018 shirt because like I literally.
It's on sale now. Go get it.
Oh, is it on? Is that one back? I thought it was just 78 and ends that were back.
They released 78, 2018, and Kills. Like, go get it now. Yeah.
Sorry, guys, I gotta go. No, I'm kidding. I gotta go right now. But yeah, so
that's my favorite shirt.
Yeah.
The 2018.
But that one is pretty sick. I really, really like that one a lot, actually.
Yeah.
And you know, something we haven't talked about yet. Let me ask you this. Why the hell is Laurie wearing the same getup that she wore in 1978?
Listen,
pay homage.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm okay with basically the full circle. Like, we're gonna end it how we started it.
I get that.
Now, this picture that just recently came out like a couple of days ago with Michael and I originally thought it was a knife until I saw an HD version of it.
We're gonna get to those in just a second.
Yeah. To me, I don't want too many callbacks. Like, because 2018 was full of callbacks, and I don't want to keep being reminded that this is
not 78.
Yeah, I don't want to keep being
not
reminded. Yeah, so I'm okay with the outfit. I'm not gonna ask too many questions, nothing like that. But do not keep reminding me that this is originally from 78. Just don't keep reminding me. Because the knitting needle, it kind of.
Well, and I know Miguel is not a fan of this idea, but like we had Mike and Jay we watched a movie on a couple months ago, and we were talking about this, and we were talking about like why is she wearing the same clothes and why is she so like obsessed with the fact that he wants her, and you know we know that she's going to be struggling with the fact that like Hawkins broke it to her, like if Sartain wouldn't have dropped him off at your house, like it wasn't about you, he didn't care about you, you know.
Yeah.
But she has this idea that like I don't know if she wants it to be about her, like that sounds pretentious, I don't mean it like that, but like she feels this connection that like she has to be the one to end it. Like in Kills, I love the scene when she's talking to Hawkins and Hawkins is like, you know, I need to kill him or whatever, and it's when you get the it needs to die, like that whole thing, like when they're sitting there talking in Kills, and she says he'll take my head as I take his. That's why I'm kind of like, I think they might actually both die. Like I think they might.
The only reason I feel like Laurie should not die is because unlike Sidney Prescott in Scream, because at the end of the day, Sidney has killed all of her attackers. She has always, like, none of them have come back. So I can call her a final girl. Even if Sidney was to die in a Scream movie, I can still call her a final girl. With Laurie, she is the final girl. Like, she's the OG. and everything. But to me, think about it. In all of the timelines, she's technically never killed him. And
No.
for this to have retconned everything, I feel like it'll be poetic if honestly she has that privilege of killing him.
I would
Like
be
you said,
completely fine with that.
don't leave it. And honestly, end it after she killed him. Leave Haddonfield. Leave, because that's something that no one ever does in these movies. Is leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like kill
I would be
him.
cool with that,
Honestly,
dude.
they need to find a way to pull him apart. Like I want him to not have any limbs, nothing. So yeah, like she needs to kill him. And I want it to be like where he feel like he has the upper hand, and she just like abracadabra that ass, like just
Abracadabra
get
that
him.
ass.
It's funny.
Yeah.
Everybody thinks that Laurie's moved on, and Michael like walks up to her house, and she kicks open the door, and she's got like a minute gun like strapped to her back, and she's just like
ready.
Good Lord.
She's just like unloading on him.
Like I would be okay. Like I really do. Honestly, I think I would be upset if she dies. I think I will honestly be upset because
I could see it.
Because I mean, I feel like by how the way they killed her in Halloween Resurrection, and because think about it, when Jamie Lee Curtis, because it's not even necessarily even about Laurie, just Laurie. It's about Jamie Lee Curtis because at the end of the day, Freaky Friday, You Again, Prom Night, so many movies that Jamie Lee Curtis has been in that's just also good movies. When she dies, it's gonna say Halloween star Jamie Lee Curtis.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not going to label her based off of any of her other previous work. It's gonna be Halloween. So like to me, I feel like in the way they went about doing it and how they betray her with the script and the contract and stuff for Resurrection and stuff, like honestly, she needs to survive in this. Like, let her live. I don't want to see her again. Honestly, I'll be okay if we don't get any more sequels, period. Like, if this, if they, my only hope is that they make it so hard for people to come back from this sequel. I'm sorry, from ends. Like, I want it to be, like, hard for them to even try to attempt to make a movie from this because they ended it so well. That's what I want to see.
Listen, J-Dead brings up an incredible point here. you can't kill Activia. I'm just saying. No, but and I see somebody who said it in the chat. Miguel can't stand this idea, but what if? Because I even have another picture here. Like this is a behind-the-scenes picture of Jamie Lee Curtis and David Gordon Green in the kitchen. What if she's dressed with the bell bottoms and the blue collared shirt and things like that, with the hair cut the way it was in '78? Is she trying to get him to remember who she is?
Lord, this man does not remember you.
This man does not fucking care about you.
Like, I don't understand. Like, why does she care so much that he... like, it's almost like she cares more that he remembers her than she does about, like, actually surviving and killing him. Like I feel like... if he was like in the process of, I know, and you could probably chalk it up to a trauma thing. Like she wants her abuser to acknowledge her. You know what I mean?
Or yeah, it's like the crazy ex-girlfriend. It's like you just gotta remember, honey. You just gotta remember what we had. You gotta remember 1978, man. Like so I can kill you properly. Like what the fuck?
Look, one saying I heard a long time ago, and I believe in this wholeheartedly. You cannot piss someone off and then tell them how mad to get. So to me, I feel like this. Like I'm not gonna lie, like because I had somewhat of the same experience. Like someone broke in the house on me when I was younger and stuff, and we went to court and stuff. Literally, they asked him why. He said, "I just thought he was alone." So like to me, I think that's another reason why I like this whole timeline because of the whole trauma thing. But like to me, it's like I get it. Like this person violated. Like, think about it. Like, when she got up that morning, Laurie Strode, this was not on her radar. This was not on her to-do list. To be 40 years, now 44 years, traumatized. So like to me, and then think about it too. Like, irregardless of what, like, you took my child. Now you killed my friends and all that in the past. You took my child now. So to me, I don't care what I gotta do to make you remember me. Honestly, you're gonna remember this ass whooping. If anything.
Yeah, right.
I'm gonna have you this movie. So me,
for sure,
I feel like Laurie needs to end him. I feel like she could be kind of hurt or whatever, but end it. Like, let Laurie live. Personally,
Yeah, just another horror fan. That's exactly right. Like maybe she's trying to draw him, like she wants him to remember her. And I kind of thought of the scene like it, and I actually thought that this was what they meant by that because it's very purposeful in how it's shot. But there's a scene in 2018, the first time that Laurie and Michael actually come face to face. Like I know they have the moment where he like grabs her through the glass of the door and he's like lifting her up against the door trying to choke her out or whatever. But like there's a scene when she's like putting down the traps in the house and she's got the rifle, and when he pushes the thing over and like shut like the gun, and like they're both holding onto the gun like pushing it against each other. There's a moment where he looks her dead in the eyes and he does his like he cocks his head like that and looks at her, and I almost cocked that up to like, is that him like being like, oh, I remember you. Like I know, like right. Like I know who you are. Yeah. But I don't know. A lot of people seem to think that was just that was just him doing his weird head nod thing, like he always does. So I mean, I don't know. Yeah. That's an interesting thought. Slasher Fred, what's going on, man? If you guys ever seen the TV version of the original Halloween, they have some added scenes, including the scene where Loomis checks Michael's cell, sees the word sister written in blood. I have seen that. It's actually got some really cool scenes to it. Yeah, I don't know about that though. I always kind of didn't really like that scene where his room is trashed and sisters written on the wall. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's a little too on the nose for me.
Get that theory out. Just that was retcon.
Like we don't need to have that anymore.
Bro, how pissed are you gonna be if at the end of it they're like, they really are siblings? Like, whoa, you know what I mean?
I'd lose my shit.
I would be.
Would suck.
I prefer the senseless killer, and the crazed woman trying to take her down. I like the whole idea of like it's just a crazed animal running through town. And this woman needs to put him down. Like I like that theme more than the whole sister brother notion or the cult version of all that stuff or any other type of demonic. It's literally just this crazy beast is in town wreaking havoc and he needs to be put down. That's pretty much the way I chalk it up to be. So I'd much rather see that whole thing throughout the whole entire movie. Obviously, it's more intricate than that, but at the heart of it. It's just a crazed beast that needs to be put down.
Yeah, I agree, man. I completely agree. Halloween Ends says Baltimore hyped about. Baltimore hyped about? I don't know. Is when Michael threw Laurie across the kitchen table. Yeah, dude. Miguel and I laughed about that when we did our trailer breakdown. About that. When he grabs her, bro, he pulls a Freddy vs. Jason. He launches her across the room.
Bro, like, girl is parallel to the floor.
Yes.
She is straight vertical in the air over the table. Now, I was cracking up.
Do you guys feel like that scene is actually going to be in the movie?
Ooh, yeah.
What'd you say? Like, cut out for a minute.
I said, do you think that scene will be in the movie, though?
I hope so.
We're delving into that.
I hope so.
Good for showing us good scenes, and it does not even make the cut.
I will say, Christopher Nelson said this on an episode of The Thing with Two Heads with Sean Clark. He was like, listen, everybody who keeps like breaking down the trailer, like shot by shot, frame by frame, he was like, y'all gotta stop, because he said 99.9% of like the theories and the stuff that is out there and like these clips that everybody are like, he was like, oh, like the finger thing, like when he pushes open the door and he's got all 5 fingers on the hand that he should only have these 3 on. Like everybody's trying to break that down, and Chris Nelson was like, you guys have no idea, like this, like you're way off, like stop trying to overanalyze every little thing you see, because
like
it's not
that was probably like a production mistake, and everyone's throwing theories out, and now the producers are like, bro, you forgot to CG out the hands. Like, dude, now we got all this shit going on.
The Universal,
like, and then even to the scene where he's coming up the stairs breathing in the trailer. Yeah, if you look at it, when we see the door and we see someone in the room and stuff, but then Michael opens the door, the copycat opens the door, and you see Laurie. If you actually look at it, those are 2 different takes. Like, because in one it's a bedroom, and the other one is clearly like a living room or something. Because the pumpkin is in the back. So like I didn't like me honestly. I've actually only seen the trailer. I saw when it originally first came out. I went to go see Nope and saw the trailer. And when we went to go see one more of the movie, so I only saw the trailer like 3 times.
Yeah. Well, it's I don't know. It's interesting. Like, and it kind of cracks me up because like we did a trailer breakdown. I mean, and it's fun to kind of go shot by shot. But like, there are people, I kid you not, that are like when you hear the like.
It's not his breathing.
Yeah, there are people that are like, that's not Nick Castle. I'm like, how do you know that's not Nick Castle? Like, have you memorized Nick Castle's breathing? Like, are you kidding me right now? Really? It's just, it's kind of funny.
Nick Castle's not going to want to come to any other Scarefest when they're going to be like, I knew that wasn't your breathing. And they'd be like, what the fuck you say?
You know, some weird person would walk up to Nick and they'd go to give him a hug or whatever, and they'd go to hug him and they'd be like, oh. Yeah, just funny, you know. Bye, J-Did. Take it easy, buddy. We love you. Stay safe. Halloween Ends, perfect point. He's been locked up. Yeah, he's been in prison for 40 years. Like, why would he care about you? You know what I mean? Like, he's got more going on than you, you know? It ain't all about you, boo-boo. Like, that kind of thing, you know?
It ain't all about you, boo-boo.
It's not, so.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Just another horror fan says, I was disappointed that they cut Michael walking out of the burning house, stops twice and twirls the fireman tool from one hand or to the other, like, let's do this. That's true. There was a frame in the trailer that was not in that because he was walking with it, but then, like, he stabs the firefighter up, and when he lifts him out, he, like, throws the thing down and then runs and grabs somebody else. Like the halogen thing, like the stick that he like impales the dude with, like there was a shot where he actually like throws it to the ground, like angry, and then walks over and starts to get the other firefighter.
I think maybe because they probably wanted to, because I mean, let's be clear, him standing in front of that door and in front of that house on fire, that is the most iconic shot in horror movie history for me. That is a moment.
That's solidified.
And to me,
100%.
I feel like they wanted to make sure that we saw every aspect. We saw the back of him, like holding like the little thing or whatever. Then we saw him. We saw the boots. They wanted to take in this entire moment and stuff. So to me, I'm okay with it. Like, because that was a moment for me.
I agree.
Like, that was a moment. So that's probably why.
Halloween Ends, you bring up a good point. What I'm thinking of right now is, what if Michael just wants to be left alone? Like, what if that's his MO? Like, he just wants to be left alone, you know?
Sir, Michael, you have done too much shit to be left alone. You gotta go. You gotta go. Yeah, my coworker, he did the math yesterday. We were closing, and he was asking me, and he was like, how many people did he kill in 2018? And I was just like, good question. I said like 10. Come to find out, it was like 15, 20, and I was like, damn. And so when he did the math for like this timeline for 78, 2018, and kills, it's like, it's a lot. So, sir, you gotta be put down. You gotta go. You gotta be put down.
I think in regards to, in horror in general, I think he stacked the most bodies right now out of all the horror icons.
I think now he has. Yeah. I think now he has. So. Let me see.
Yeah,
so how many? Let's
see. He should just get out of jail and
so
just in the woods
15.
Somewhere.
Yep.
15. Let me see. I'm gonna get a number on this. So 15. Sorry.
I think it's out there already. Like there's they did a number count of each horror icon and how many people they've killed.
27, so I'm terrible at math. I have to actually do this on my phone.
That is a school teacher.
I am a teacher, and that's okay. He killed 42 people between Halloween 18 and Halloween Kills.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, you can't be left
48
alone. 48
people.
Yeah, you can't be left alone after that, my man.
No. Yeah,
they put people on death row for killing like 2. You know what I mean? 48 is just like absurd.
If they did what they did to Ted Bundy, what you think they got to do to you, sir?
Yeah, right.
Well,
come on,
and
bro.
Listen, like my whole deal with Ends is I just hope they don't do anything too crazy. I hope the focus is on Laurie. I hope that I'm okay with the Corey thing. I'm okay with doing something different. But it goes back to what you said at the beginning of the show, man. Like, I just hope that it's good storytelling, and I hope when we get to the end of it, it's like, you know what?
This makes
Okay.
sense.
Like, it's not perfect. I mean, look, 18 and Kills aren't perfect movies, but let's be honest. And honestly, Mike from Wham had said this, and I was like, dude, you're right. Like, everybody's being really hard on Kills, but like, look at like Halloween 4 is loved, and Halloween 4 is a great movie. But is Halloween 4's plot any greater than the Kills plot?
That's what I was gonna say.
Or like,
to me,
you know, even Halloween 2, like the original, I love the original Halloween 2. It is one of my, I got my blood tears mask over, it's you can't see it, it's back here, but like, I know, I have it, and dude, I have my, I'm not gonna go get it right now, but I have my blood tears mask, and I have the scalpel sitting under the mask.
bro. Like, to me, I just feel like, again, like when it comes down to storytelling, I've seen all of the entries. Nothing makes sense. Like this time,
it really doesn't.
Like to me, it's like good storytelling overall. And I feel like, again, like people who hated Kills are definitely gonna. I'm pretty sure that it's gonna have a big turnaround once Ends is done, and especially when you watch them all together from 78, 2018 Kills and Ends. It's literally this one big long movie. I feel like that's how it's gonna end up. But the Thorn trilogy, and then you got Halloween and Halloween 2, then you got H2O, then Resurrection. It's just none of those things make, like Resurrection, what did that add to the story at all? Like,
it didn't. I can't stand Resurrection.
I'm not gonna lie. It's a fun watch for me.
Yeah.
It's a fun watch. Is it a good movie? Like for the entry? Like, but you know, again though, like I think that originally, because in the early 2000s, you know, like this whole reality show thing was coming about or whatever.
Yeah.
I think the whole script was actually going to be another movie, but they were just like, just throw Michael Myers in here and make it a Michael Myers movie or whatever, because like it added nothing to the Michael Myers story at all.
Right.
Like none of the kids knew nothing about Laurie, nothing.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I honestly like, and we're gonna at the end of Oktoberfest, him and I are gonna rank the franchise, and I'm just gonna go ahead and throw it out there. Resurrection is my least favorite, and I don't know why. Like when we recorded our commentary of Resurrection, Miguel actually
was
like,
not paying attention whatsoever.
He was like, "Are you even enjoying this?" I was like,
he was so
fine.
zoned out. I swear he was.
I don't know.
You could tell the animosity during that entire stream.
It's bad, but it's not that bad though.
Yeah. It's probably like one of the most. It's just another like 2000 horror movie, pretty much.
Yeah.
The way I could.
I just
put on in the background.
Yeah. I need Busta Rhymes in Halloween. It's Michael Myers is a killer shark. Like, you know what I mean? Just like being.
They contacted him to do it though. That's the crazy part.
I know they were gonna give him a cameo.
Yeah, and they actually contacted Megan Thee Stallion as well too.
I'm so glad. The fact that they were, I was like, bro, you were gonna give Busta friggin' Rhymes a cameo before you give like Danielle Harris a cameo or like literally anybody else a cameo. Like, really?
Well, you gotta understand, like back then, it wasn't necessarily about like storytelling and like keeping the legacy characters.
Oh,
it was
no.
Like, hey, can you get someone famous in pop culture in a horror movie? Boom, that's money. That's money in our pockets now. So that's how it was.
They flat out said that, like LL Cool J being in Halloween H2O, like that was straight up because LL Cool J was hot at the time. Busta Rhymes being in Resurrection, Busta Rhymes was hot at the time. Like they just wanted somebody like a big name to be like, oh, but Busta Rhymes, I'm gonna go see that. Busta Rhymes, yeah, I know, right? So like that was just that was the thing. Real quick about Ends, we didn't get to any of the images. We got a few new images. There's my my boy right here. A couple new images. I know. That's a really cool shot right there. Mask is looking grimy. He's got that. His collar is popped like tight.
Yeah.
It's looking good.
He went to the cleaner.
Nah, that's dirt and grime. Just keeping that thing popped up. That's 100% all dirt. That was nothing special.
So like in that other image, like he pushes Laurie. It's interesting enough. Look at the the backsplash behind Laurie. Look at the backsplash behind Michael. So I'm thinking maybe he like maybe he pushes her down the stairs or something. But like, could you imagine he pushes Laurie down the stairs, and then as soon as Michael goes up, it's like, I'ma be on my suit and tie, but as soon as he starts coming up the stairs, it's like some pop thing, but he's like emotionless. So we got those two images. That one was from what? That was from Fandango. We got this one from Empire, which,
from what I've heard, they said this is Corey's mother. From what I've heard.
Oh.
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah.
And that's definitely not Corey right there. I'm gonna say that right now.
I don't know. I actually kind of.
You see those fingers? I don't know.
I haven't heard that. Yeah, those hands look too clean to be my. I'm kidding. I am kidding. But like, I don't know. I haven't heard the thing about that being Corey's mother. But why does he look so awkward?
Yeah.
Like usually he's just very like. He's just very still and liquid-like or whatever, but, like, he's very, like, I'm going to pose for this picture, like, kind of thing. Like, it just...
But then again, though, when you think about it, think about last year with Total Film, I think it was. It was the picture of
I know what
Allison's
you're talking about.
Boyfriend holding Cameron on the wall. That was definitely posed, because that wasn't even in the movie or even close, you know?
Yeah.
So I think it's one of those things, probably.
It's just one of those interesting shots. Like, I'm getting tired. I'm not really sure like what to think of it. And another one, this is the most recent one. I think this came out like today. But this is a very interesting shot. I can't make out. So obviously he's got the knitting needle, which is again, like you said before, it's a callback to the original to the original one. But again, that's weird. Does she attack him with a knitting needle again? And it's like, okay, it's just convenient for him to use it. Because if they if they do the thing where Michael like they're fighting and he sees a knitting needle and he's like, oh yeah, you stabbed me with this in the original one. You know what I mean? Like, that's gonna be like, okay, it's a little too on the nose. Like, if he's like consciously thinking about like ways to like call back to the original and like what happened, that's weird, you know. So, but also,
and if Laurie set this up, girl, we see what he's capable of. We don't need to give him any.
I know, right?
Any other things. He's like MacGyver. Yeah. He's like a serial killer MacGyver.
Like, we don't need to give him nothing extra.
Well, and listen, like, I know images can be deceiving. Like, I'm even looking at the is that the vinyl behind you, the Kills vinyl?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at it, like, I remember I thought that was faked the first time I saw it, because I was like, even if you look at that vinyl behind you, like, like Miguel said at one point, he was like, you could drive a car from where the eye hole is to where like the hair starts on that mask. So I know pictures can be deceiving, but let's walk through this for a minute. Let's take a journey through this image together. Look at his head. That's obviously Laurie's hand on the bottom of the knitting needle. His hand is on top.
It looks tough.
His hand, like, his arm is kind of like reaching around holding the knitting needle, but his other arm is just limp to the side. Like, I feel like, wouldn't he be trying to like shove it into her throat? Like, why is it just like, I'm going to do this one-handed? You know what I mean? I don't know. It's an awkward picture, and maybe it's in the middle of he's moving, he's going to put his arm up. Like, I don't know. It's just it's a strange image. I don't really know what to get at that one.
That looks more like a scene from the movie than it does a still. So
yeah,
that's definitely like in action, I would say.
Yeah, like that. That's probably just a posed image. I don't know if we'll actually see that shot. That is like it because it's too crisp. It's too pristine. Like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like we would actually see that as a part of the film. But I don't know. That one kind of stumped me. I was thinking about it today, and I was like, that's so weird. Like, it just looks weird, you know? It's very strange, you know? And even, like, you know, just another horror fan, you bring up a good point. In the trailer, it shows him putting her hand in the garbage disposal. Is that payback for his hand? Like,
I believe it.
Is he really consciously thinking about these things? Or is it just for the fans to go, oh, yeah, you know? Like...
See, and that's the thing. I don't want a lot of those. That I don't want that. Like, battle it out. Don't do the callbacks. I need both of you to try to kill the other.
Yeah.
Like,
I want full on brawl in that house.
That's
like
all.
100%.
That's all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Like, fuck all the furniture. Like, fuck all that furniture. Break it if you need to, man. Okay.
That's what I'm saying.
Home insurance will cover all of that. Just fucking have at each other.
And I'm
Yeah.
curious about the whole, like, even in the trailer where, you know, I think at the end when they show her, but right before they show, I think her stabbing his hand or whatever, like, he stabbed, like a pillow, like a bunch of feathers flying everywhere.
Yeah, like there's
I'm
strange
so
things.
Confused. Yeah, I'm so confused.
Like if somebody's coming at me with a knife, I'm not gonna grab a pillow and be like, "Ooh, shield." You know, like
Yeah,
what, you know what I mean?
What? Yeah.
So I don't know, but
I guess
mean,
like the way the angle looked, though, it looked like maybe Michael is probably assuming that Laurie is hiding maybe behind like a couch or
That's
something
true.
like that,
Yeah.
or you know. So
yeah, because it looks like he's coming like down on it.
yeah.
You know? So, but listen, man, the marketing is ramping up. There's posters and videos and stuff in Times Square. Like, it's just, it's a good time to be alive, man. It's a good time to be a horror fan. It's awesome. So I'm super, super, super stoked. JT, this has been an absolute blast, dude.
Yeah, I always enjoy myself with you guys.
I know.
I got a quick question for you guys though. Are you guys going to see it in IMAX?
I'd like
If
to.
we
I don't
can.
know if we can. At some point, it may not be the first time I see it. I think the first time we see it, we'll probably just see it in like standard 2D. But at some point, I'd like to see it in IMAX. Where we're at, we have one IMAX theater that I know of, and it's in Newport, Kentucky, which is like basically Cincinnati. Like it's literally like here's the IMAX theater, here's the Ohio River, here's Cincinnati. Like literally, like that's how it is. So like it's up north, but I think that's the only. Miguel, am I wrong? Is there another IMAX theater like in our like region?
Oh, no,
Because I kind of
confirm
feel
that
like
real
there's
quick.
not. I don't know. Do you want to see it in IMAX?
Sure.
I
mean, it's
I
the
was
finale,
I was talking
dude.
to JT, but thanks for interrupting
Oh,
him, Miguel.
my bad.
You suck. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, like I live in a hella metropolitan area. So It's literally every theater has IMAX and 4DX and like right now I'm just confused. Do I want to see it in Dolby Vision, like Dolby at AMC, or in IMAX at Regal? So, but I
it's
have the
not like
option
that here.
for either one.
I do think it'll be in Cinemark XD, which is pretty cool because like XD is like our like Dolby kind of like it's like the bigger screen. It's got like the floor to ceiling like speakers, like it's got like extra like subwoofer bass kind of stuff going on. So like I don't know. We'll probably see it in Cinemark XD if we do that. But
I was gonna say I know my friends like that's the week like that's how we're kicking my birthday weekend off. So and all my friends ordered different Halloween shirts and stuff. 'Cause my birthday's on October 10th. But we're going to see the movie that Thursday night. So I think we're going to go see it in Dolby at AMC first because we got to get up and go to Gatlinburg because we were in the cabin for that weekend.
That's awesome.
So we're probably going to go see it that Thursday night. And then I guess I always go see it once and then I go see it like the week of Halloween for the second time. So I'll probably go see it in IMAX maybe the week because here they're showing the original 1978 in theaters too. So like for like a whole week straight. So yeah, I'm probably going to check that out as well, too. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. All right, boys, final thoughts before we wrap this shindig up. This has been awesome. Everybody who's stuck with us for this show, you guys are the best, and thank you so much. If you're watching after the fact, there's stroke number 2. JT's gone. Or not JT, JDead's gone. But if you're watching after the fact, let us know what you want to see from Halloween Ends. What were your thoughts on Halloween Kills? Throw us a comment and let us know your thoughts. So, final thoughts, my friends?
Laurie shouldn't die.
Evil dies tonight.
No.
Yes, but not in the way we're thinking. So
please, no copycat killer. That's all I gotta say.
Listen, Miguel, I think you're gonna be disappointed. I don't know if you're gonna get. I don't know if you're. I don't know if you're gonna get that wish.
Than you do.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, man. But guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This has been our 90th episode of Let's Talk Movies. Talking horror news. We talked a lot. We talked about Halloween Ends. We talked about the fan film stuff. It's Me, Billy, Never Hike Alone 2, Dylan's New Nightmare. We also talked Friday the 13th, Evil Dead Rise. So many cool things going on right now in the horror world. And we're just so hyped for everything that's going on. JT, do you have anything coming up in the near future that you want to share with the peoples?
I mean, other than that Netflix thing right now and the podcast, like really, no. Like I'm just chilling, trying to get a house.
It's awesome. I feel that. Is your podcast out yet?
No, actually, it'll probably be dropping maybe no later than December. Actually.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
So
end the new year right and start the new
It-
year
Exactly.
Yep.
And I
Yes,
gotta
sir.
have
For sure,
you
man.
two on the podcast.
Absolutely.
I'm
Yeah,
all
you
for
guys
it,
on.
man. All for
That'd
it.
be great. That'd be great. Max said, "Love the show, guys. All great insights. Thanks, man. Can you play the It's Me Billy trailer from last year for JT? I want to see his reaction." Have you seen It's Me Billy?
No.
Okay.
Let's
Do you
do
have
it, yeah.
you have you
Sure.
seen Black Christmas?
I love Black Christmas. Yeah. Not
Oh, you've
the
seen
newest
it?
one that just recently came out. Yeah.
Yeah. The original one, right?
Yeah. I seen the original one.
Yeah. Let me Okay, hang on. Do you know who Dave McRae is?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah,
He's
let's
working on Halloween too, right?
No, he's not working on Halloween. Let me see.
Dave McRae. Hold on.
He's a voice actor, but he's got a YouTube channel. He's pretty big in this
Yeah.
Halloween space.
Like he sits with the chair with the 78 jacket right here. And all
Yeah,
that.
yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Dave McRae. Yeah.
Yeah. So as promised, so here's the so Dave McRae and his buddy Bruce Dale did a sequel to Black Christmas, like kind of giving it the Halloween 2018 treatment, like what if it happened after, or like what would happen after, however many years. So here's the trailer. I definitely encourage you to go check it out because it was really good.
This is a fan film too. This is what really sets the tone.
Yeah.
Something's been bothering me, though. And it always has since my grandma told me. The cops said Peter did it. And for years, my grandma said the same, but I think she started to have doubts.
So, do you think the killer's still out there?
Closed case. But the way she used to describe those calls. Who the hell is this?
Ooh.
What did you do?
Wait, this is an actual film?
Yeah, it's like you can.
It's on YouTube now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. Yeah.
It's pretty
It's,
good, man. And it's way better than the sequel. I'll say that right
Yeah,
now.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's.
I hate the sequel.
Let me see. It's 42 minutes long. It's on YouTube right now, and they
Okay.
like today, literally today, they just announced the second chapter of it. So it's
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check it out.
it's
Yeah.
pretty dope, man. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, Max, you're right. Legit studio quality. It's insane. It's amazing, man. So all right, peeps. I think that is gonna do it for episode 90 of Let's Talk Movies. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. JT, as always, man,
Always a pleasure.
it is always a
Anytime
pleasure to have you
guys
on.
need me, let me know. I love
Listen, Freddy versus Jason, you're coming back for Freddy versus Jason. It's happening.
Yeah.
It is gonna happen.
Let
That's
me
gonna,
know.
dude. I'm so hyped for that episode now.
Let
So
me know.
it's gonna be awesome, man. So super stoked, guys. That's gonna do it. I already said that. I don't know why I'm repeating myself. It's after 11 o'clock. I'm tired now. So guys, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at We Talk the Movies. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. JT, what's your handle? Drop it real quick so that everybody can follow you.
Instagram is at HEY.JAYTEE. Hey JT. Hey.JT. And my YouTube is #HeyJ. But if you go to my Instagram, you can click on the link in my bio and it'll take you to all my handles. So
Sweet, man. Everybody, stop what you're doing right well after we get off here. Go subscribe
Check
to
Follow
Joe
me.
Mal. Go
Great
follow
guy,
him on
man.
Twitter and Instagram. Really great Twitter and Instagram follow. And you make awesome content, man. I love keeping up
You
with the
guys
stuff
too.
you guys
I love
do.
you guys.
Appreciate
I
it,
love you
man.
guys, bro. I love you guys. I'm
so-
rooting for you heavy.
Awesome. So JT, stick around after the credits roll, and we'll say our goodbye there.
All right. Say less.
So, peace, guys. We'll talk to you soon. See ya.
See ya.